All right, we back. I missed the part where I was supposed to be up in Sandy. Oh, I still have the keys. Let's go. What's up, chatty boys? All right. The onboarding was a success. Now we have to go do the in-character portion. They expect fast track cadets to be solo after a week. So hopefully this upcoming week we can get soloed. Very cool too. Like the out of character portion was basically like, hey, we're like the first impression people get on the server, so make sure you're like a decent cop and you go with roleplay, and you'll never get in trouble for letting somebody go if you have them dead to rights, as long as you're role playing with them. I was like, oh, that's a good vibe. Because usually you'd get suspended or some shit, Excuse me. We back, baby. We so back. But now we gotta go all the way up to LSSD. They were like, hopefully you guys are all at LSSD like we asked you to be. I was like, oh, not me. So I logged on. I was like, fuck, hopefully my truck's still there. What's up, Tharis? This rat loader's fucking ass, dude. How was class? It was good. They just briefed everybody. Hey, be a decent cop. You can go hard. And, if you're chasing somebody in a shitty car, 2 units, don't fuck them up. If you're chasing somebody on foot, 2 units. We don't need the W. Have fun. Role play with people. Are we in here, maybe? I don't know where we're supposed to be. Who's clapping? They're downstairs?
It's like Skype portion that we had, which was nice.
I better be having.
Hello.
Doing.
How are you not in your uniform, club?
What the hell?
I was doing my community service hours, so I just got here and now I'm finished. I'm William Clubb. Pleasure to meet you.
William Clubb.
So
Yeah.
this
Sandwich?
one,
That's a good strong name. I like that.
well,
Thank
this
you.
one
Hit somebody with
here,
it.
he's either gonna do really good or really bad because Maddox and I were kind of cooked when we interviewed him.
Yeah.
I mean, Maddox
Yeah.
doesn't think anybody's do good, so whatever.
I cannot remember where the change room is.
It's right
Just
over
to your
there.
left there. It says lockers.
Thank
Hold
you.
up. Where do you want to? What department are you joining?
Well, I'm a cadet for the LSPD currently.
Yeah, but
Oh.
he may go county. We're not really sure. He's gonna see where he ends up.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yes, yeah, I didn't really know, the vibes, but I've been educated after the fact.
How you feeling now about the
Who
vibes?
educated you?
Sergeant Maddox had a talk with me as well.
Oh, he's coming, LSSD. All right.
You should have a talk with Joe at some point.
Is this a Joe Mama thing?
Oh,
No, this is
No,
Joe.
it's me,
Oh,
Captain
hi.
Ferraro.
Hello, Captain
This is a
Ferrero.
Joe Mama thing.
Sorry, I thought that it was going to be a Joe Mama thing.
No.
Yeah, so I wasn't really sure. I just, I
I mean,
grew
you can
up in
change
the
your mind
city,
during
so
onboarding.
yeah, I grew up in the city, so it just made sense. But I did my hours with Mrs. Pond Bloom. I was fixing cars and polishing cars for officers in the city.
Oh.
She
Those
was
your
quite
aux
nice as
hours?
well. Well, she said it counted towards them, but it was
No,
also community
no,
service.
that's a lie. Nope.
Okay, it's
Did
no
she
problem.
say that?
Yeah, she said you can start counting your hours, so I just
No,
but
that's
I don't
incorrect
care.
because you remember this is you paying your job off.
Yeah, that's what I had mentioned, but either way, I have no problem making sure that I take the necessary steps.
Yep.
Is he fast track or
Too
grain?
fast.
He's too fast to
fast.
cadet.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, now.
Shouldn't be
Can you go to,
fast for
can you go to
cadet.
channel 1 real quick?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Can you just go to
I'm gonna
channel 1?
put
and
on
just,
my
like,
outfit, my
no,
uniform. Pardon
press
me.
the radio button once. Just one time.
Better?
Bad boys, what you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Sheriff John Brown come for you? Tell me what you wanna do, what you gonna do.
Weapons licenses still don't expire, right? I heard motorcycles are going to start expiring or something.
Yeah, weapons don't. Actually, hold on here. I'm gonna hand this to you while we grab stuff. Get them all down here while we grab something. This wallet, the bottom
Hey, Gamble, can you bring all of your
portion are all
friends
my
from the
Ellis,
roof
like
and
all my
bring them
other
down
random
outside the
credit
locker
cards. I
room?
can check your guys' balances to give you stuff. But the top one should be their department credit card. So if you want to gather them and give them their correct credit card while Bauer and I get the rest of their stuff.
Yeah.
I love this game.
All
Actually,
right.
Joe, you want to help?
Club, what's your state ID number?
What?
15096.
Grab stuff from the locker.
What's...
Utility belts and
All right.
ammo
Are you
and
familiar how to hand
just
something to
everything.
someone or take
Yes, sir.
something? All right, good.
What's the number?
Here you go. There's
Oh,
your
where?
LSPD issued department credit card. You're going to need that in your possession somewhere, typically inside your wallet, in order to make any purchases.
Up against the
Make sure you keep in mind that that is LSPD. So if at some point in your career you switch departments, provide that to a representative of the department you're switching from,
Over here. There you go.
preferably a member of command, to let them know that you're going to a new
Right here.
agency.
Just line up against the wall, guys.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
As he went into
What's
the
your
locker
name
room.
and
All right.
ID number?
Here we go.
Salem Gold. My seat ID is 12525.
Okay. I'm going to hand you something. Here you are. There you go. Okay, this will be your credit card. You see that?
I sure
There
do.
you go. That'll be your credit card. You need that in your possession in order to make any purchases, equipment.
I
stuff like that.
assume.
Keep in mind it is LSPD. If at any point in your career you transfer departments, as part of the transfer process, you're expected to hand that over to a member of command of your law enforcement agency.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Dixon Nash is asking for you on the radio.
What channel?
I don't know.
So I guess everything's paid for by government funding? Thoughts?
Radio check.
Yeah, I don't know what time I'm going to start tomorrow, chat.
10-2.
I got to clean
Yep,
this
she said
room I'm
Nixon.
in, and I got to set up my
Maybe
bed.
you took so long, she gave up.
Okay. Name and state ID number.
Do you want to help grab stuff or no?
6762.
I need some more water.
Here is your credit card number. You heard the whole spiel. Make sure that's in your possession. When you're making any purchases, it is LSSD. You're expected to hand that over to a member of LSSD command if ever you change departments. Just so you guys know why I keep saying that. Every department has its own budget, so.
Channel 9.
Gonna
Why are you
ride-
standing away from them? Are you saying you're too good for them?
No, I was just, I have already received my card, so I was just, I figured we were going to
Yeah,
go into a
yeah.
meeting room.
Name and state ID number.
Nick of time 14457.
What's that, sir? Sorry?
You got a bed on.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
You got a bed.
You know what sounds just like Nick of Time, like the thing people say.
I got
all the time?
a badge on? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
my
Everyone ever told you
parents
that
had
before?
kind of a sick sense of humor.
Oh, am I supposed to take it off?
God, you must have gotten
Yeah.
beat up relentless.
Oh, okay, okay.
Until you
It
get
wasn't
fully
great.
promoted.
God.
Okay, okay. I'll take it off.
It's alright, I get it. My
Make
dad's
Make
name
sure
is Justin, so I
nobody
can't
sees
blame
you
him.
have it on.
Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
okay.
God. Holy shit, your family is just the worst. All right. All right. So anybody else doesn't have a credit card? Pretty sure you all got credit cards. I've got one left in here. Oops, sorry.
Oh, probably for snow.
It's where your vest should be.
Yeah, that must be who I'm waiting for. All right.
Oh, thank
Nash,
you.
you
Thank
need
you, sir.
them sent in yet? Or?
You got patches back on.
Yeah, I'm putting it back on.
Yeah, you think that'd be the place it would be, but it's not.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right, recruits, follow me.
Alright, go ignore them.
Are we missing snow? Or...
Hey, Shep.
Hey there.
I'm just gonna wait out here because that's so small.
Okay, so this is the armory at LSSD. Every police department has an armory just like it. Every armory is a little bit different in terms of who you have to look at or what you have to interact with. I know at Mission Row PD, it's a laptop in the middle of the room. In this case, it's this guy right here in the corner. One at a time, walk up to him, look at him with your eye, peek at him, and then you should be able to shop using the credit card you just purchased. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can buy from him, but your only two things I want you to buy right now, which is an M9 pistol and a taser. So you're gonna go ahead and do that now. Once you've purchased one of those items each, come out to the hallway again.
All right.
Move over here, but we can go in front of
M9.
you.
There is stun gun. Yes. Stun gun. Okay. They're right next to each other, just so you guys know.
Perfect. Hello, I would like to talk to you. Please, can you put your cigarette away?
I just talked to my brother. Said, yo, what's up? Said I
I
came
don't know,
to
it doesn't look like
J-Latz's
he's gonna
house,
do it.
and we're in for $200 each. They're
Am I
gambling.
correct?
They haven't won a single thing.
M9 and taser.
What a bunch of idiots. Glad I didn't go there.
Okay.
We need a stun gun and an M9. Probably two of those. Two of those. Oh wait. Thank you.
Okay, club.
Jeez, you're so chaotic.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna organize them.
Hand
things.
me your driver's license and your weapons license.
I'm putting your credit card in there in your
Okay.
wallet.
Good and good. All right, you take those both
In
back.
the locker room, there's a bag that you can put your gun in,
Who did what?
Who handles the application money?
Didn't you already pay?
and I'm just helping organize.
There was a situation that happened.
Oh, you can link up with. Just link up with Nash at the end.
Okay, go to Boer and get a. Go to Boer.
Get over
There you
here.
go.
Hello.
Okay, they've all got
There
their
is
Equipment.
a bag inside
I
of a
would love
locker room
some
that you can
equipment.
put stuff
You
away.
better have organized pockets as well.
Check on you here. Just double check
You go.
your waistband here.
Organize
my
your
bag.
pockets.
You
Alrighty.
get the rest of your gear. in a
I don't want to
second.
have to
Nash will
organize
tell you
them
where
the
to go.
first time we FTO.
Did you
and I
buy
go,
the
"What's in your
M9
pockets?"
and the taser stuff? No, you didn't.
Yes, sir.
Just-
Or yes, ma'am. Sorry.
why'd you buy it?
Okay, alright.
I used the LSPD credit card.
I
Good
said,
night.
why'd you buy it?
I was.
What did I
was
tell you to
told
buy, club?
The M9 and a stun gun.
Yeah, so why'd you buy the ammo
With
for
the
it?
ammo cartridges and M9, and who told you to buy those?
Oh, I just assumed that we
You
needed
have a
them.
duty belt?
That's
and
what
a
you get for
flashlight?
assuming. I
And a
want you to go
radio?
ahead and come here. I gave him the flashlight. Did you buy the radio too?
No, the radio was given to me by Pond because I was doing
Okay,
doing work
Taking
for
that
her.
away. So listening skills, we had the ammo and everything purchased for you on the side already.
Oh, I apologize. I honestly,
That's why
I,
that wasn't included.
Equipment
So
check
there is
here.
a bag in
Check
here. Come on,
here.
I need you to put other stuff away because you have shit on you.
Oh.
okay.
I
Okay,
need to
let's
go also put.
To be honest, I thought it was going to be a test.
No, it was legit. Listen to us what we're saying. We did that to save you guys time. Put the shit that you don't need away in there.
Okay. Don't
Yeah.
need. Well, I'm gonna hang on to this food. I don't need this, or this. Okay, perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna take that ammo and the stun gun because again, you didn't listen.
Yep. Sorry about that.
You're good. Go out to Boer and get the rest of the stuff you need.
Okay. Excuse me.
What are you in here for? Putting stuff away?
Oh, did you get this from the?
Hello.
Is
I need
that
the
from
rest
the
of the
stuff-
stuff
from the
from
bag?
you. I think I was told. Are you Boomer?
No, I gave it to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have everything else they're supposed to have. The only thing they had to buy was just the M9 and the taser. So they got the
No, all
cartridges,
the-
ammo,
all the
everything
stuff
else they
that
need.
Nash and I just got. Nash was in charge of belts. I was in charge of all the other crap.
Oh,
So
yeah.
That's where they got it from.
Okay.
Got the last one here.
I just need the rest of the stuff. I think over here.
Oh, this is the trash right there.
Here you go.
Thank you, sir.
Organize your pockets.
Will do. Thank you.
Nobody likes messy pockets.
And then
Sometimes-
these med kits can go inside your utility belt, so I'm putting yours in there. There you go.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you guys do actually go out there for auxiliary time, you can grab your armor or your vest,
Oh
but
my
for now,
God.
just don't grab it.
Sometimes when I arrest a bad guy, if he's a real like whiner, I'll mess up his pockets and make them all messy.
I bridged it
That's
up.
devious. I
I
like
forgot
it.
to give you a citation book.
I'm just cutting through. Just
And you a citation
hello.
book. There you go.
I fucked up.
You guys have citation books, right?
Cups are hotkey. Yeah.
Okay. And you guys are all good to go with dispatch stuff.
Got citation book.
All right, where do you want to talk to him? Up on the roof?
You could pretty much do anywhere. I mean, the roof's comfortable. We could go in the highway patrol office. Whatever you want to do. Hell, we could go downstairs in the bullpen. It doesn't matter to me.
Oh, true, because we were gonna have to go down there anyways. So
All right, let's go down here then.
I thought it was going to be a test. by the ammo and the cartridges too. Thought they were going to be like, well, you purchased those, but how are you going to use them?
All right. Do we want to have do we want to have them all do a test radio transmission on channel 9 and then on 10 to make sure that radios are working properly?
Yeah, it probably makes sense. Make sure they can hear us and speak.
All right. Let's go down the list here. This is gold, right?
Yes.
All right. I want you to take out your radio. You have a radio, right? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I want you to go on channel
It was a
9 as your
listening test,
primary,
yes.
channel 10 is your secondary, and then I simply want you to do a radio test on channel 9 and then a radio test on channel 10.
Okay, so 9 and primary.
Right.
Do I have my secondary set up?
Right, secondary. Radio check.
Very good. Now, secondary.
Radio check.
Perfect. All right. I believe this is Vanessa.
Yes, I am.
All right. I want you to do the same thing. Channel 9 primary, channel 10 secondary. Just test on each.
Is there a specific button on the radio for the secondary radio? 'Cause I'm used to.
There
Whatever
should
you
be.
decide it is. Whatever you decide.
I didn't. I got everything but that one.
Okay,
All
we
right.
can
We'll come
on
back
that.
to you.
Okay.
And then
perfect.
I'm gonna go to everybody else. Make sure you have one button for your primary radio, a separate button for your secondary. Make sure they're not the same button, and I think there's one for transmit on all frequencies.
Yeah.
Make sure that you don't have that one. Don't have that button. That's for like dispatch. You don't need that. All right, and this is Nikov, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do the same thing. Channel 9 primary, channel 10 secondary.
Radio check.
Very good.
Good.
Radio check.
Very good. And this
This
is
is Club.
All right, go ahead and give me a radio check on channel 9 primary and 10 secondary.
Okay, primary check.
Very good.
Secondary check.
Very good. Just waiting on Vanessa.
I'm so sorry. I'm thinking about it. Okay.
Damn, I'm nervous, chat. Oops. Wrong button.
That's all right. Take your time. We're not all spending our evening right here waiting for
Primary
you.
check.
Very good. Very good. Give secondary.
Secondary check.
Perfect. Perfect. Very good. All right. So you all now have functioning radios. You know how to, set up your primary and secondary frequencies and talk on each. That's going to be very important. You should be able to do it when, one-handed while driving or while chasing somebody on foot. You should be able to transmit on either radio station, just like you should be able to change stations, primary or secondary, while driving a car. All right. All right, let's go through dispatch. You
Yeah,
should
he
all
does.
have the
He
ability
falls
to bring
apart.
up your dispatch menu. You'll notice it has a couple
up,
of
Nat?
different things. First, let's look at the top left menu. You should see a list of calls that are coming in from Central Dispatch. Okay, you should see 1060 carjackings, 1037 suspicious person calls. You'll have all sorts of calls coming from dispatch. It also tells you where that call's happening. So it tells you what road, and it tells you to the right the exact incident number, the exact call number, and how long ago it was.
Can
By
anybody
default,
not see that?
yeah. If anybody cannot see what I'm talking about or does not know what I'm talking about, speak up now.
You all see that.
I see.
All right, by default, it is filtered by active calls. You can uncheck that. It will show you calls that are closed. You can also search. There's a search bar. You can search for individual calls. So if you had a recent call that's no longer active, but now you're doing a report and you want to find that, 911 call, so you can photograph it for evidence, you can filter in that thing. Just like at the very top, there's a reset filters button. And to the right of that, you can see by default it's on all, but you can filter just 911 calls, just 1013s, whatever you need to do there. Each call, if you click on an individual call, an individual card, it'll open up a little menu where you can assign it to yourself. That means the ticket will stay open for as long as you are assigned to it. It also shows everybody that you are attached to it. So if you actually look at the bottom right now in the unit screen, you can see, for example, Officer Tyler Sullivan, 3 Lima 22. has some numbers after his name. Those numbers after his name indicate that he is tied to a current call, and you can see which call because it's the one that matches that number.
Excuse me.
You can also edit, so it edits the details of the call, so you can add more information, indicate what channel it's on, so anybody who wants to join you can quickly see that information. And you can set GPS to any individual, well, to certain calls that have a location. So, for example, 311 calls you can't set GPS for, but for the 1060 calls you can set GPS. Yeah, for the 311 you can't. 1060s you can. You know, shots fired you can. Anything that has a location tied to it, you can. And simply adding GPS just sends it right to your vehicle's GPS, so you can navigate there quickly. You know, while you're in the patrol car.
Question about the active calls. Is it good practice, or do you typically assign yourself to every call you respond to? And secondary question, does dispatch do it, or do you depend on dispatch to do it, or how does that work?
Yeah, well, it's a good question. If there is an active dispatcher, they should be doing that. If there is no active dispatcher, like right now, if you look in the bottom right where it says our units, it says just to the right of that, it says active dispatch 0. So we don't have an active dispatcher at this moment. So you should do all those things that a dispatcher would do. So if you're assigning yourself to a call, still key up on radio, and you're letting everybody know that you are responding, but also click assign self so that ticket doesn't just disappear. Just also remember, once you're clear off that call, click that card again and assign self again to get off of it. Otherwise, the ticket will just stay there the entire shift, and everybody will be looking at it.
Yeah, as you can see right now, when you're hitting it, there's so many calls that they're hiding underneath the radio channels. That's a common thing. There's a lot of crime that happens in the city, and sometimes there's a lot of cops on a lot of different radio channels. So if we end up having like 6 cops on 6 calls that all forgot to clear themselves out, it's only going to exacerbate the problem, because all your calls will show up at the bottom of the list of calls to the point where new cops can barely see the new calls coming out. So before you attach yourself to the next call, make sure you've remembered to clear yourself from the previous call.
Good point. Good point. All right. Next up, we have the bottom left menu, which is your radio channels. That shows you all the active channels in all the active frequencies in the state of San Andreas that official units are using. So
I don't know how long onboarding
channel
is.
1 is by default our main patrol.
no
You
idea.
can see the doctors are on channel 6. You can see the Department of Corrections on channel 7. You can see we are currently operating on 9 and 10 for onboarding. So on and so forth. You can see a lot of departments have one as their own. It's typically, pretty high up, so nobody's going to need those frequencies, 37, 38, 50, 69. Highway Patrol usually uses 80. And those secondary channels, again, it's helpful for department members to be on so they can communicate with each other. But you might ad hoc create one on your own. Let's just say you and a couple of other people are on a stakeout looking for a person who's been chain burglarizing houses in the Vinewood Hills. And the 4 of you have a pretty good idea of where the person is operating, so you decide, instead of tying up channel 1 with your stakeout, because maybe there's a pursuit on channel 1. They don't need you, but it's obviously they have primary comms on channel 1. So what you might say is, let's all hop on channel 12 or channel 3 or whatever is not being used right now for the stakeout. And then the 4 of you can coordinate on that secondary channel. Oh, I think I have eyes on somebody suspicious walking outside the house. Oh yeah, someone on a bicycle circling around. Whatever secondary comms you need to do. You can see how many people are on it by the number of call signs on that channel. Any individual channel you want to create, you can simply click it to set the description of it. So you can simply put onboarding, or you could put stakeout, burglary, whatever you want to put there. Once everybody hops off the channel, by default, it will leave the menu.
That's a nice feature.
On the bottom right, you have your units, and that's where you can see all the information about the number of units that are on duty. By default, you're looking at the police that are on duty, but if you look at the top right,
it's very nice. Wait, what happened?
Sorry, I don't know how long I have not been talking there.
Hey, Chef,
There is a...
Okay. So yeah, you see that menu there. It says police and DOC and all that thing is top right. So that's how you can see all the other, people that are on duty. You can see doctors, DOC, etc., etc. On the bottom left, on the bottom right, you see all the units, and they have a green, yellow, or red button to the left of their name. You can see their call sign and their name. The list is filtered numerically and alphabetically by their rank and badge number, and then it has their name. To the left, it has an icon. You can see who's on foot. You can see who's in a vehicle. Sometimes that icon can change if they're in court, or if they're in a specialty unit, like if they're on a motorcycle unit, you'll see that icon is a motorcycle, or if K9 is active, you'll see that the K9 logo is there. The green dot means they're in service, ready to respond to calls. If you need backup, those are the people that can help. If you're on patrol, I expect you to be green, 10-8. Once somebody is busy, they're on a scene, they're doing a traffic stop, they're processing someone, and they should be 10-7. Actually, they should be 10-6, which is yellow. 10-6 is sort of busy. They're doing something, but they are available. Let's just say you're on a traffic stop. You're still available to respond to a 10-13. It's not like you can't leave your traffic stop. So you should be yellow for the duration of the stop. Don't forget to change yourself if there is no active dispatch. Otherwise, active dispatch should do that. If you're red, that's 10-7. That's out of service. That means you're not available to help with something. If for example, we are all right now out of service. You should all be red buttons because we are not available to come help right now. Again, after a call has concluded, make sure you set yourself back 10-8 in dispatch so other people know you're available. If you're patrolling for hours and you're like just leaving yourself 10-7, people are assuming that you're not there to help them. So people might not be calling on you for help. So pay attention to that. If you click your name in that list, you should be able to set yourself 10-8, 10-7, or 10-6. You should be able to set your call signs. You should be able to set the icon. Like I said, some specialty units like motorcycle unit or K9. And you can assign to a unit. So, for example, let's just say I'm patrolling with Lieutenant Nixon here. Rather than us each being our own unit in dispatch, I can click my name and I can say assign to unit. I can click his call sign on the drop-down list. And now in the dispatch list, my name will go under his. We will be together. We'll be one unit. When he assigns himself as on call or on an incident, I will get assigned to that incident as well. So right now, if you haven't already, I believe somebody already did it. If you go to the very bottom of the list, you'll see onboarding, and all of our names are there. So if you are done with being onboarding, you just click that. You can leave that, or you can move to a different unit.
I assume you can't set your status because the onboarding is set 10-7, right?
That's probably why. Let's see if I set myself 10-8. Yeah, that's probably why. So
hit that, then it gives the option.
If you look at onboarding at the very top,
Gotcha.
so I just change it. If you look at onboarding all, because basically once you do this, where you assign yourself to a unit, we are all considered to be one unit. So I can't be 10-8 and you can't be 10-7 if we're the same unit, right? So just click at the very top. Typically, it's only going to be like 2 people riding together, but that unit would be 10-8 or the unit would be 10-7. That would change both of you. All right, any questions about the capabilities or functionality of our dispatch? Are you able to pull it up? Do you understand how it works and where you're going to go for information?
I'm good.
Yep, all makes sense.
This is
All
really
right.
nice.
Yeah, we have a very nice dispatch system. It does give a lot of information at a glance, and it's very deep. So you can, I love the fact that you can quickly assign something to yourself. You can quickly add it to your GPS. It's the ability to search for a call that happened in the last 45 minutes or so you can quickly photograph that for evidence. It's just great.
Yeah, it's a ton of information at your fingertips. It's so convenient.
Yep. All right. Next up, we can walk through the MDW. All right.
There you go, Vanessa. Now you can open it.
I found a workaround.
How's that?
Oh, it's tabs too.
What? Why are you talking on the radio?
I was just gonna let her keep doing it because it was
Oh
funny.
my goodness.
Excuse me.
Are you stuck talking on your radio, Vanessa?
Who, me? Oh.
Oh dear.
It's okay.
Oh, dear.
It's okay.
Oh no. You've got a radio talker. Oh, one thing before we move on to the MDW, well, before we completely close the book on radios, that I'd like to mention because it's not necessarily very obvious. If you don't have it set up, basically, if by default, your radio will sound identical on primary and secondary, which is fine if you want it that way. I highly recommend you tweak your secondary radio so that it sounds different, like it only comes out of your left ear or your right ear. As far as like I've got this thing in my right ear, so I know that that's my secondary radio. So if I'm on primary frequency,
That's what
90% of the time, it sounds normal. But if one of my highway people talk to me on my secondary channel that I monitor, I know that it's them because it sounds very different. It's just coming out of my right ear, and we don't talk with usual radio etiquette. We just use plain speak. So I can kind of tell to answer them on secondary. So you can do that. There's a bunch of computers around us, and any one of them you can type /HUD, and then you can kind of skim through the /HUD menu, and there's a lot of things you can mess with. I highly recommend you kind of tinker with all that when you have time. But for this specifically, you'd go to the area that says radio, and then there's an area right under radio that says volume for broadcast on all PD channels, primary radio left. It's primary radio left-right audio balance, and you can basically switch your secondary radio balance, which is right under primary radio balance, so that it comes all the way out of your left ear or all the way out of your right ear. And you can also change the clicks, so they sound more high pitch or low pitch, so you know which one's which.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really, really helpful. Otherwise, someone hails you on
Yeah,
secondary
the
radio
HUD
and you're
menu is
answering on
insane.
primary, and everyone on primary hears you answering a voice that never hailed you, so you sound like crazy.
Yeah, Onyx is fucking wild.
Okay.
Embarrassing.
Very, very, very. All right. MDW time.
You went through all of
Sure.
dispatch?
Yes.
Real quick with dispatch, I did update your guys' call signs, but when they do update, you're gonna have to click on your name and change them when you get fully promoted.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I also I found a workaround, a loophole, as some would say,
For what?
for my MDW.
How's that?
It's one of my fingers.
Excuse me.
I
What
think
loophole
it's
did you
cool
find?
to do that.
Excuse me
He's
again.
just pulling out with his left finger, you know?
Yeah, I didn't know
Oh.
Mad
Instead
RP
of
was
his
over
right
here.
finger.
Yeah.
Banana Duck is a main cop too, from what I've heard.
All right. Okay. Do you want me to go through MDW stuff?
Sorry, chat. We're just
All right,
taking
let's
it all in.
let's start off with the dashboard. So open up your MDWs. If you have any tabs open, close them. Well, you can't close all of them. Close all of them except the one that you can't close. There'll always be one tab open. There's a lot to go over in the MDW. A lot. You could spend literally hours tinkering through here and learning everything. So obviously, we expect you to go through a lot of this in your own time. But I'm going to just give you a quick rundown of the basics. So in the top left, well, really, yeah, in the top left, this is kind of like 90% of your navigation. There's the three little bars. That's the main menu, and then right next to if you click on the search menu, you'll see it kind of drifts into the middle of your screen
cool.
on the MDW, and the top left now you have the three bars, and then next to it you have the three bars with the lines on there. We like to call it, because it's easier to say, the three bars. We just call that the burger, and then the menu next to that with the sliders and everything is the burger with pickles. So that's what I like to call it. Nash, you like? Is that good to you? The burger and the burger with pickles? You like that, right?
I do,
Yeah, that's what I do too. Okay, so
Makes me hungry.
yeah,
Yeah. It's super
basically,
well
and
done.
I like to call it like that because it also, in a funny way, it also helps describe them a little bit. The burger is the whole menu. If you click on the burger, you're gonna see it. Hello, in the burger,
How
you'll
we
see
doing?
all the stuff: dashboard, applications, instant, all these things that you can spend hours clicking through all these different applications and all these different things you can
Alex,
click.
come here.
Whereas if you click the burger and pickles, and you can click that now, you click it a couple times, you'll see that all that happens when you click on the burger with pickles is it just gives you customization within the menu that you're already looking at to help filter down that information. So if you're looking at incidents, for example, if you click on incidents on the left, you'll see all the incidents that have come in. But if you click on the burger with pickles, you'll have the option to just search for all incidents with a particular tag, like bench trial, or you'll have the option to just search for incidents with a particular officer listed in it, or a particular suspect listed in it. So
Wild.
Burger with Pickles is just specifying what thing on the left you're looking at. One of the most common things that happens, and it happens with me all the time as an experienced cop, is you can't find what you're looking for and you don't know why. Your first troubleshooting step, if you can't find a person or a report or a piece of evidence or something, you're not getting a result. The first thing you should probably do to make sure that it's not on is click the Burger with Pickles and identify that there's some kind of filter on, like a person listed in the people tab, or most commonly a piece of evidence listed, and just click the little X next to it to clear that filter, and then search for the thing again that you're looking for, and 9 times out of 10, that'll fix it, and whatever you were looking for will pop up. So if you're ever looking for something in anywhere in the MDW, anywhere, and you can't find it, your first troubleshooting step should be to open the little Burger with Pickles, clear anything that's there, search again. Okay, so let's go to the burger, and then click dashboard. It's going to be the first option in the burger. This is pretty much a screen that I have open, and most people have open all day, every day. This is the dashboard. They call it that for a reason. All the stuff you're going to need to begin your shift is right here. Warrants on the left. Most recently expiring, the newest ones that are expiring soonest will be at the top. And then if you scroll down in that section, you'll see warrants that are going to be going. Shep Winters, you got a warrant, my friend.
Classic prank.
Oh
Classic
my
prank.
gosh, you are a real renegade. Anyway, so that's the warrant section. Obviously, you can click them and find more details if you want. Bolos will be left to that. Everyone here know you're all experienced. You know what bolo means, right?
Hi,
Nixon
everybody.
said.
Good luck, everybody.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Captain Harold of the Grapeseed Sheriff's Department.
Wayne
Okay,
Thunder.
Bolo. What is? Somebody yell it out. What does Bolo stand for?
Be on the lookout.
There we go. Okay, so your bolos are right there. You can click on those and figure out what the bolos are for. Just like earlier with the warrants, the newest ones are going to be at the top. The
Roland.
less, the older ones that are less relevant will be towards the bottom. But you're all new cops, so they're all new to you. So click through them and read them at your leisure. Notices, that'll be more like announcements, that you have to know about. Subpoenas, not necessarily relevant for you to know every single one of them, but it's good to keep tabs on what the subpoenas are currently out there. Actually, can you even see subpoenas? Is that just because I'm command?
Yeah, we can see
it.
Yeah.
You can see subpoena. Okay, good. Sometimes I don't know. And then on the far right will be notifications. So
All right.
let's say you're on a scene. I'm working the report. I remember that you were the one that photographed the car, or you were the one that did something. I might attach you to a report and you didn't know it. So if you get the little phone thing, but you didn't click on it right away or whatever, you have no idea what the report
I
number
do
was.
like playing on
Notifications will be here in the top right to tell you you've been added to this report. You can just click on it and it'll take you right to the report. Okay. So, all right. Now with the dashboard, before we move on, any questions about the dashboard?
No.
Okay.
None
All right.
so far.
So in the top left, hit the burger and go right underneath dashboard and past the applications. You're going to see new incident. You should see new incident. Do you see that?
Sure do.
Yep.
All right. I want you all to click it. Don't actually make a new incident, but if you click it, you should see a thing pop up that lets you type in the title of a new incident. Just click cancel on that, just so you have an idea. Did anyone get any kind of error when you clicked that? Did you see the screen where you could make an incident if you wanted to?
Worked fine for me.
Good.
Yep.
All right.
Same.
Same.
That's basically the gist of it. You don't have to have a clue with the report. I just put the title, just something temporary.
They did add
like,
a bunch of shit to this MDW.
Gold's, arrests a clown or something like that. And then you can go back later and modify it to the full official title. Okay, so same thing as incident. Well, not same thing, but same process is going to be reports. So if you go to hit the burger again, and underneath create new bench trial, you're going to hit new report. And you're going to see the same thing, new report title. You could just do some, you're not going to actually make one, but you could type in there if you wanted, like, lawyer has gun stolen on steps of City Hall or something like that. And then you could put the lawyer statement in the report if you wanted to. Does everyone know the difference between incident and a report? Anybody? Gold? What do you think is the difference between incident and a report?
An incident would be like an active call you go to, and you're writing up the report for it. A report would be like taking a statement about something that happened from a civilian.
You're pretty close, yeah. The difference, I mean, you could just respond to a call and that could still be a report. The difference being an incident is where we make some kind of arrest or we have a suspect that we're going to be pressing charges against, whereas a report, there might be a crime we're investigating, but we have no suspect at this time. There's nobody to pin it on. So it's just a report. There's no suspects in reports, but there is a suspect in an incident.
Let's say you make a report because you don't have a suspect, but at a future time you figure out who did it. Can you convert a report into an incident?
You sure can. Yeah, there's a button that you can use to. We call it promoting. So you promote the report to an incident. It will maintain its report number. It'll carry over all the evidence and statements and everything. It'll just give it new areas where you could put the suspect's name and things like that.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, there's not a lot of work involved. It's actually pretty beautiful. Okay, let's work on searching. A lot of times someone's going to mention a report. Oh, bro, you don't have the thing, dude. I told a cop the other day, can you please find it? It's really important to me, dude. So go to the cheeseburger and go to, actually, no, you're not going to go to the cheeseburger. You're going to click in the search box. So the cheeseburger is like a menu that you can create incidents. But if you just click in the search everything area, but don't actually type anything in, you'll see the menu on the left side, which I would say most of our job relates to something. If you're searching for something, it's going to be somewhere on the left. Searching profiles, searching incidents, searching reports, yada, yada, yada. In this case, I want you to go to search incidents. You should see all the incidents that we have in here, including fake traffic stops for training purposes, fake 1080, things like that. But if you want to search for something, make sure you click on the cheeseburger with pickles at the top so that you can see the search criteria at the top, and go to tags on the left, and you should be able to see all different tags.
Wait, where'd my MDW go?
Look for
Wait, what?
Look for traffic, and then look for highway patrol, and it should narrow it down to only incidents that have used those tags. And you should see a report from. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. You should see a report. Actually, you know what? Let's narrow it down further. I know that this is a citation, and I know it had the traffic citation tag and the highway patrol tag. I also remember that Trooper Rob Mist was on the scene. So go to the people area. Now here's the thing that might not be obvious. Don't type into the people area, even if you know the person's name. Don't type it in there. It doesn't really work that way. Click the little person with the plus sign on the right side of the people box, and it will sort of change the box. Once you click that, and you can see search to begin in the top where it says search everything, type in Rob Mist. And then you should see two results. You click the one that said Rob. There's also a Rob Mist enjoyer. I guess that's a new person in town. Anyway, click on Rob Mist, and then it'll further filter it by incidents that have Rob Mist in them, and our traffic citations with highway patrol.
Okay.
Does everyone see Eddie Concord failure to wear helmet ×1? Second from the top. Okay, click on that.
I'm fucked.
Should open that up for you, and you'll just get a gist of how the search function. You'll just take you right to a report. Now, I also want to make sure you know this. So you can see the report.
That's in profiles.
Looks fine. Go back to the search everything box at the top of your screen, and go back to incidents.
Can't click anything.
And let me see here. Don't click anything yet.
Incidents. Okay, here we go.
Go to incidents, and in the search everything box, type 26075. You should see nothing, no results, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And this happens all the time, especially when we're in a hurry, because that is a report that just popped up. But again, we have search criteria with somebody else. So hit the little X next to Rob Mist's name to get rid of him, and hit the X next to the highway patrol and traffic citations, and then search for 26075, and you should be taken to ATM robbery stopped. Everyone get that successfully, or anyone having trouble finding that report?
Hey, yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right. So I just wanted to demonstrate real quick.
For me with taking out highway patrol and Rob Mist.
Okay. Make sure in the search everything box you've got 26075, and you're on the left side of the screen. Make sure you're in the incident area.
I am, yeah.
Okay. Does anything come up when you type 26075?
No, it says nothing found.
Okay. Do you have any criteria anywhere, like charges
I have
from?
the traffic tag in there. Are we taking that one out too?
Yeah, take that one out too.
All right.
26075 should pop up.
Got it.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, so that'll happen a lot, and if you, like I said, it's sometimes frustrating and
Phoenix,
confusing.
Could you just talk normal for a moment?
Reports are like a personal thing. No, reports are seen
I'll
by
talk
everybody.
normal. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So it could sometimes be a little confusing to not know why things aren't popping up, but that's typically it. Just make sure I'm reading. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna. All right. So we're gonna move on. We've done searching. Okay. So in the top, in the search everything field, type 1973. You should be able to get into a do not delete test report for onboarding. Open that up. Did anybody not see this report? You're all in this report. Good. Okay. I just want to open this one up so that we can quickly show you, you know, what these reports are about. So the format will be very similar to all incident reports. In the top left, you're going to have a title, and that's automatically got a date and time. You don't have to worry about updating that. It's going to automatically put that in when you create the report. Typically, the report will be named something like the suspect's name with a little pipe next to it. That's the up and down, you know, line on your keyboard under your backspace key. And then whatever charges you're charging them with. If it's a lot of charges, just put the most significant charge in there. Automatically, when you put that in, the primary officer will be filled in for you, so you don't have to worry about that. You're expected to type things in like the location and a narrative debrief. In the middle of the screen, you're going to see things like tags at the top. In this case, there are no tags, but that's where you'll see things like I just showed you in the last couple ones, traffic citation or highway patrol or whatever. There's a bajillion tags, but yeah, that's where you put the tags in. And that will help people search for your incident in the future and help CID and the detectives and people track trends. In the middle will be officers involved. Every officer that's involved with the thing, whether they're a process suspect or not, should be in here. Even if they just arrived and stood on the perimeter and made sure that the press didn't get too close, that's enough to put their name in there, and they can just put a brief sentence just saying, I got a call, officer was down next to the hospital, I got there, the situation was already over when I got there, I just made sure nobody came any closer. I did perimeter security. That's fine. We expect you to do that too, so make sure you understand that their expectation is if you're at a scene, it doesn't matter if you didn't pick up the bloody knife, or it doesn't matter if you didn't put anybody in cuffs. If you were there, we do expect you to put your name in there and at least say what you did do and what you saw. I got there, I saw a guy in a pumpkin mask. He looked like he was already on the ground. I think he was shot by an officer. That's enough. Just put that in there. Okay, witnesses are at the bottom. It's the same thing as the officer statements, except it's just these are non-officers. Sometimes it's other suspects that we didn't get enough to charge. Other times it's victims. Other times it's bystanders. Anyone gets a statement, puts it down there with their name and what their statement is. All right. Let's look at the bottom left. Underneath the narrative debrief is going to be who it's shared with. There's nobody shared with right now. You go to court, you're expected to share it with the opposing lawyer and the defendant. Typically, the judge will tell you when it's time to do that. Actually, we don't even do that anymore. We just promote it to a bench trial now. But you could share it with people from time to time. You'll share it with lawyers and prosecutors and things like that. Underneath shared with is reports attached as evidence. Evidence test report 3344. Fox holds up Mount Zona, extra equipment, etc. These are other incidences, like I was talking earlier about incidents and reports. There's plenty of times where you make an incident report, you're arresting somebody, and several other reports are relevant, whether it's because this is a string of crimes, or it's because this is a pattern, or somebody else began it, and then you found the suspect a day later, but you want to reference the crime that started yesterday where this investigation began. You just reference that, attach that as evidence. All the evidence involved in that report, as you can see in the bottom left, is carried over into this report, and you can see it directly. So if you scroll down underneath reports attached as evidence, not only can you see all the evidence from this report, which is at the top under evidence, there's an image, cadets that work together, there's a gun, there's some blood, there's a bunch of casings and projectiles. If you scroll down under that, you'll also see evidence in other reports. Report 3926 has some evidence. 23228 has evidence. And way below that is snapshots. Don't worry about snapshots. The reports attached as evidence is great. Virtual reality stuff. Okay. And of course, in the notes in the bottom right is going to be other things like notes. You know what? Yeah, the notes, typically we'll use that for stuff that doesn't really fit anywhere else in the report, but it's relevant. Like suspect pleaded guilty in exchange for a very obvious charge not being pressed, or whatever the case is. If it doesn't belong in your debrief, but it's relevant to officers that might be reviewing this report, put it in the notes area.
Real quick, if you arrest somebody on reckless evading, they have a weapon on them, the weapon matches to a previous crime, you would reference that and then charge them with that, right? And they would all kind of encompass into this one report?
Yeah, you mean like a hot gun charge?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You would just you could attach this your current report into this report. What a lot of cops do is they'll add that report to this report as evidence, and they'll also go to the old report, and they'll also do it backwards. They'll also attach your current report to that one as well.
Gotcha.
So that they both cross-reference each other.
Cool.
And yep, you can just attach any charges. We are a hot gun state, so if someone is arrested with a gun and there's evidence to support that gun was used to commit a crime, then in this state you can prosecute that charge and charge them accordingly. Any other questions about an incident report?
Can we talk about Stephanie Meyer's note and how messed up it is?
You just lost the game. Well,
yeah.
Losers lose. So.
Keep pointing that out. Damn it.
Yeah. Hey, it got me. It's going to get you.
Oh, it's valid.
Okay. Go to the top. You can actually hit the X and close out of this for now. You don't need it right now. Go to the top into the search everything area. Make sure there's no search criteria. Everything that you were searching for is gone. Clear it. Go to the profile area. And look for 2104.
Adam Fart.
This is Adam Fart. Legendary criminal Adam Fart. As I'm sure all of you have heard, this is the first criminal that was convicted of murder in the state of San Andreas in the legendary Supreme Court State versus Adam Fart in the famous Thunder Fart trial, which I'm sure you're all aware of. Yeah, very legendary. Not to brag, but I prosecuted that case. No big deal. Kind of got the first murder conviction in the state, but hey, not a big deal. Again, not a huge deal. Just kind of a big deal, but anyway. So this is what a typical profile will look like. Obviously, they'll actually have a picture in the top left. This one's kind of old, so typically their picture will be in the top left. If you're booking somebody and they don't look like their mugshot, you should probably fingerprint them to verify it's really them. If you're still sure it's them, but if they don't look like their picture, we require that you take a new mugshot of them. Underneath their picture will be overdue fines, or warrants. Right now it's an overdue fine. He has one overdue fine. You can actually click on one overdue fine and it'll show you some more detail about it. This is a $900 unpaid fine issued to him on August 8th. So they've got 21 days to pay the fine. You can actually uncheck the box that says fine is due, and you'll see additional times where this person was fined. So checking the box only tells you if it's already overdue, and unchecking it shows you all fines, whether they're due or not, or have already been paid. So you can see if you uncheck fine is due, you'll also see a driving on the wrong side of the road citation for $100, which was paid in December. Go back to the profile. Underneath overdue fine, you would see a big red bar just like it that would say warrant if he had a warrant. In fact, if you want to look for search everything for Winters, first name Shep, make sure there's no people listed.
ID is 3202 if you'd rather use that.
Yeah, but they should get an idea of searching people that don't already they don't have their state ID number, because it's going to happen a lot. Just look for Shep Winters. Shep, S-H-E-P. Shep Winters.
This is a really deep MDW, dude.
This is what it looks like when someone has an active warrant. You'll see a big red bar. Does everyone see Shep Winters? Is anyone having trouble finding him? Got him. Okay. Big red bar there. You can click on it, and it'll take you to the results where it'll tell you Shep Winters has a warrant. Shep Winters has a warrant for petty larceny. You can click on that, and it'll take you to the details of the report. You can see the tags at the top: bicycle, highway patrol, DPPD. You can see the primary on this is Sergeant Maddox. of the DPPD. You can even see the heinous evidence that he has that a bicycle was stolen.
I have
There's
no
even
idea.
a photograph of the bicycle at the location it was stolen from, as well as details about the crime that was committed,
Alleged
perpetrated by Shep
Failure
Winters.
to wear a
All of
helmet.
this is right there for you. So, pretty damning stuff, Winters. Pretty damning stuff.
I don't know about that.
So you can hit the X on that, go back to Shep Winters' profile. You can see underneath active warrant, it will just be basic information about the person. Their phone number is always put in there by the DMV when they get a driver's license. I'm pretty sure that's required. That's not optional. Any aliases they have will be put in the alias box. 99% of the time, we don't use that box. But if someone is like not the type of person where like, yeah, people call me Big Dog. I don't really care that people call you Big Dog. Your name is Shep Winters, so we're going to put you as Shep Winters. But there are some people that you might know, like some in your work experience, that they quite literally never go by their real name. People always call them something like Slim or something like whatever. So if they have one of those aliases that everybody calls them and nobody even uses their name, in fact, most people don't even know what their real name is, put that in the alias field instead. That way, if someone types, the person's name or their alias, they will pop up, even if you don't know what their first or last name is. Just don't use that. Don't overuse that. And keep in mind that if it's very bland, very generic, it's going to make this person's ID pop up whenever anybody types that.
Yeah,
thing
Dick
in.
Chickens.
So
I
if
was
it's
just
the
thinking
letter
about
A
that.
or Smith or something like that, then every time anyone types that in, your suspect is going to pop up. So don't put generic stuff. Make sure it's a specific nickname. DNA is on file. Again, if you're booking a suspect, they don't have DNA on file. Verify that none of the crimes that you're booking them for is a violent crime. That I want to make sure that I'm emphasizing this. That includes the threat of violence. That includes the implied threat of violence. If they didn't hurt anybody, but they said, "Give me your car, or I'll shoot you in the face with this gun," that is still a violent crime, and we do still expect you to fingerprint them and get their DNA on file once they're charged. They're going to bitch and moan to you that they didn't hurt anybody, that nobody got hurt, that you're being a real lame cop, but that's our procedure is any violent crime or the implied threat of violence gets their DNA on file. Okay. And the state picture. So priors will be under that. Most people have a rap sheet a mile long. You can actually, do we still have Adam Fart? Yeah. Go back to the Adam Fart if you still have that one open, 2104. Go to the priors there. You can see all the times he's been charged with stuff. So one of the things I like about this is you can actually, there's two things that I want to show you. First of all, in the top right of the priors box, there's a ... Click that ... and then click priors history. And it'll show you all the charges that they've ever received and the order that they received. And oldest at the bottom, newest at the top. That's really helpful if you're dealing with somebody who's got a laundry list of crimes. But if you actually look at their history, you'll see that they haven't really done any crime in like 2 months. And the only crimes recently have been minor traffic citations. They haven't done anything violent in a long time. So you might be treating them like, whoa, it says here you were in a gang at some point. You might be dangerous. But then you look them up, you realize they're turning their life around. Yep. Okay, thank you. You might realize that they haven't done anything in like 2 months, and you might want to change how you're talking to them or some of your process. Vice versa, you might be treating someone very casually and realize they've got 2 murder cases in the last 2 weeks, and they're both on cops. And you might be putting your guard up a little bit. All of a sudden, this person is super violent against cops, and now you're with them alone. So that's the one thing I wanted to show you, that you can actually look at their priors history and the order of the crimes. The other thing I want to show you is this guy only has like 7 crimes in here, but there's a lot of people, there's going to be 90 crimes in here, and you might see one crime that sticks out from all the rest, like animal cruelty or something. In this case, with Adam Fart, it's murder ×1. You don't see murder very often. So click on murder ×1. Actually, you can't do it that way, can you? I thought you could just see it. You'd have to go to the priors history. That's it. Go to the priors history, and you can actually see the charges on each crime. So resisting arrest, intentional obstruction of justice was the up and Adam beatdown, driving on the wrong side of the road, murder ×1, kidnapping government employee, evading. That's an interesting one. So you could actually click on that one, and it'll take you all the way back to December 13th, 2023. Adam Fart murders a bank truck driver. So this is how, like, you might be on the side of the road with somebody by yourself without backup, and by knowing how to navigate the MDW, you can go from just knowing what their name is to suddenly digging through their history and digging up a crime that happened 8-9 months ago in a matter of 10 or 15 seconds if you know how to navigate your way around. And that could be the difference between you knowing to call for backup and maybe surviving that stop versus you standing there oblivious, not aware that this person has death, murder on their mind.
Wild.
All right, any questions about how to search through incidents, for incidents, questions about incidents, profiles?
Nah, I feel like it's the more you use it, the more it becomes self-explanatory because it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, and yeah, I completely agree. It's intimidating. You go through like 3 or 4 people that you book, and all of a sudden you'll know it like the back of your hand. It's not so scary after you do it a couple times. All right, we're gonna quickly show you subpoenas. Make sure you clear out any criteria you have right now, including Adam Fard or Shep Winters if you have them. And then go to, I'm not entirely sure if you can see this area or if I can only see it. Because again, I'm Lieutenant, so I can see some things you can't. Scroll down on the left side of the search everything box. You should see bolos and notices most of the way down on the left. You see those?
Yes.
Underneath bolos and notices, if you see it, I want you to click subpoena/warrant.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay, so click on that. You're going to see all the open subpoenas and warrants that are being requested by police. I have not looked at these, so I don't really have a great example for you, but let me just look at, let's see, Atkins is pretty smart. Myers pretty good. Veronica's the smartest one. Let's go with Veronica. Let's intimidate you with her work. Scroll down to 25521. You're going to see 310-671-7361 unregistered phone subpoena, and open that. This is an example of a subpoena. Now, I in absolutely no way in hell am holding you to this standard or expect you to write a subpoena this good. But Veronica she's the deputy that walked by you in the hall upstairs with the blonde hair braided down the middle. She's basically a goddess of like reports and investigations. Anytime a criminal sees her investigating their case, they pretty much shit a brick and try to plead guilty right away, because this is what she does. So this is what a subpoena looks like. You're going to put the suspect's name, any information you have about them, the charges you're alleging, and a statement of probable cause. A statement of probable cause is similar to, but not exactly like the narrative debrief in a normal incident. This is where you're basically talking directly to a judge. Ripley. Trying to explain to them what you believe happened and why you believe it happened. What evidence you have to support that it happened and why you believe you need to search something, what you need to search specifically, and what you believe you might find if you search it. In no way do you have to find it. If you search something and you don't find what you're looking for, it doesn't mean you wrote a bad warrant or you're a bad cop. It just means you're being thorough. In fact, you're hoping you don't find anything most of the time. But in this case, she put a statement of probable cause in there. The status got approved by Ray Montag. You can see below that the notes that the judge that reviews your subpoena will typically answer it and then explain any limits on it. The subpoena is approved, but the time limit is limited as follows: August 8th at noon to current. So basically, they're saying this happened to be a search warrant for a phone. So the judge is saying you can search this phone, but not from the time it came out of the factory until now. You can search this phone for anything from August 8th at noon until currently. Should the 2 days prior to the first, days prior to the first use on social media show the phone was in use prior to posting on social media, the subpoena may be extended upon request to the requested time frame. So that's a great example of the type of stipulations that you might see from the justices. They're not very keen on giving you carte blanche. There we go. There's an example of a 1078 call. That beep is going to be something you're going to hear every day on duty. But of course, we will continue here. If this was a search warrant for a residence or vehicles or something like that, you might see a similar result from a judge saying it's granted, but you can only search these residences within this time frame. You do it in the next 24 hours or something like that. Or you can search this vehicle and this vehicle, but you can't search any vehicles that are left at this public place or something like that. So they'll explain to you the scope of what you're being granted. All right, and obviously on the right, just like another incident, it would show the officers involved, any reports that they attached as evidence. Obviously, you need to have some kind of. You can't just go to them and say, "This has been happening. It's all off the books." Like you have to go in there with a report that you're going to attach. And that report is expected to have the I's dotted and the T's crossed, evidence in it. all that evidence is brought over into the subpoena. So Veronica did not
Lieutenant
add
Nixon, okay.
all this evidence. All Veronica did was attach the reports to the subpoena, and all the evidence in them carried over with it so that the judge could review it. So it's very impressive looking, but you don't have to do that much work to make. I mean, obviously she did do a lot of work, but it comes over automatically.
That's
Okay.
Really nice. I have a question
Yes.
before we move on from this.
Sure.
So in the case of needing to extend this subpoena, what is the process for that?
Same as requesting it, really. So in the top of the cheeseburger.
Yeah, you
actually,
super
isn't it
good.
at the top. It's like halfway
Super
down
experienced.
the cheeseburger. The menu underneath new notice, new bolo. There's a new subpoena, and you can click on that right now if you want. And just like with reports, it'll give you a little title. So in her title, she puts like the phone number and the unregistered phone number. You also might put like the address, like 13 Grove Street search warrant or something like that. Or I don't know, whatever. You put something in there like what you're subpoenaing. And then in the next page, it'll look just like this report that Veronica Wilson made, where it'll just be a template when you could just type in the statement of probable cause and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So if you need to extend it, you can do that again and just reference your existing subpoena and say, we executed the subpoena. We found evidence of activity on the social media account 6 hours before, the date in question. Because of this, we suspect that there may have been even earlier, tweets or something from this account, from the Twinsta account. We'd like to search from, let's say, this is from August 8th. So you could just submit another one saying, requesting a further extension from the subpoena. Instead of August 8th, I'd like to start at August 1st. Or something like that. And then you'd probably want to base that on you don't want to just make it seem to the judge like you're fishing.
You can
like I'm
definitely
just
use
throwing
Stream
a
Deck.
number out there. Say, based on the fact that this person was seen in town for the first time, their first interaction with law enforcement was on August 2nd. So I'd like to go back to August 1st or something like that.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions about subpoenas? Okay.
Not that I could think of.
All right. Most of this stuff is so if you actually before we move on, docket. So above subpoena, if you go to back to the cheeseburger, actually not the cheeseburger, go back to search everything. On the left side of search everything, above subpoena / warrant, you're going to see 4 docket categories. There's docket criminal, docket civil, and docket CAF, which stands for civil asset forfeiture. Criminal and civil is 90% of what you're going to be doing, and I would say more realistically, 99% of that is criminal, and very little percent of it is going to be civil. Civil
no,
is
I
typically
just like club.
civilians suing other civilians for stuff.
think club's
Sometimes
a
you'll
fun
get taken to
cop.
civil trial if you fuck around.
Plus, I like
or
club.
don't do something, or you're negligent, and it's not covered by qualified immunity. So you can expect some cops do that, and they'll get taken to civil court, and they will expect to cough up a few $100s for damaging someone's car or something like that. Criminal docket is where all the charges are going to go to.
He's
That
a
are
fucking
too
cop.
big for typical court. Like, if someone steals a car and runs from the cops and has a pocket full of cocaine, that doesn't have to go to the docket. We'll just push the charges. If they want to appeal it, it'll go to a trial. But if someone murders a cop and we have to bury the cop because they're murdered by the person, we're not going to put them in prison and say, okay, well, go to the penalty box. You murdered a cop. We're going to hold them until trial and push a criminal docket case against them. Typically, we'll get help from the prosecutor's office for this, but not always. So in order to make your own docket, well, actually, let me show you what a docket case looks like. Go to docket criminal, and then look for, let's see, scroll down. We should be able to find a decent one. How about State versus Jonathan Sterling? That's a good example. It's an appeal, State versus Jonathan Sterling. So this is
Franklin
already gone to
DuPont.
court, and this is what a lot of them look like. The defense will appeal it, and then you'll basically be expected. That's why we want to make sure when you push charges against someone, you don't just be lazy. Act like it's going to court every time, because when they appeal it, it's too late for you to improve it to make it look good. By the time they appeal it, it's carved in stone at that point. So it better be ready to go to court. So you can see that in this, they're appealing John Sterling's charges on the left, charges to be appealed, evidence tampering, misallocation of government equipment, possession of controlled dangers in the first degree, driving under the influence. So all that information is in there. Under that will be the judge or judges that are going to be involved in the case. Top right will be defendants, representation. In the middle will be prosecutors, officers involved, evidence that we have, reports that we have. This is relatively new, so I see a lot of evidence for the defendant. Probably most of this came over from the report.
Yeah, there's a
but
ton
the
of recognizable
prosecution
names.
still has a chance to add additional reports that the defendant doesn't know
Bloom.
about yet, like investigations. So there might be additional evidence that'll be in there.
Titus, I saw.
It's really kind of cool because if you look at the way that the criminal docket cases are laid out, it's complicated looking, but it's very simple to break it down like this. The far left-hand side of the screen is always going to be the official judge stuff. The middle of the screen is always going to be the prosecution stuff. And the whole right side of the screen is always going to be the defense stuff. So it's complicated. There's a lot of boxes, but you really just got to realize where on the screen you're looking. Left, middle, or right. For defense, prosecution, or the judge's stuff. The only stuff that really matters is what the judge says. It doesn't matter what the defense motions or the prosecution motions for. It only matters what the judge decides to do. Okay. Now, how do you make this? Hit the cheeseburger and go to file on docket. It's going to be right above charges. And you'll see that if you go to
Huggles. I
file
haven't
on
even been
docket,
to
it's
the
going to
Reddit.
pop up two little options, criminal or civil. So you could, just like with the other stuff, you could click criminal or civil. It doesn't really matter what you click for this example because, again, it's just, surprise, surprise, it's just going to be a title box where, again, if you hit cancel on that, at the top left, it says appeal, the state versus John
Same,
Sterling et
Huggles.
al. Swinghammer scheduling. That's typically where you would put something like that. Draft the state versus Adam Fart murder. And then in the, on the top left, you would just say the prosecution is pressing charges against Adam Fart for murder. So
This MDW is fucking insane.
What's the limit on stuff going to bench trial versus going on the docket?
You mean
Let's say
the
you've
statute
got
of
someone in the
limitations,
cells
or-
and they're going up for murder. Can they request a bench trial?
No. So no judge. So I see what you're saying. So the cutoff is basically to do with complexity. The judges are willing to entertain bench trials for
Yeah, I've
any
been seeing her
crime
EMS
that is
character
not
quite a bit,
particularly
too.
complicated.
She's still playing the.
I saw you lockpicking that car. I'm
biker?
charging you with theft of a motor vehicle. Well, I was touching it, but I wasn't tampering with it. I want a bench trial. All right. You tell a judge that, they'll say, sure, yeah, bring it to my court. You'll probably argue you saw him touching it. He'll argue that he was touching it, but he wasn't trying to get into it. Whoever's argument's better is who the judge will go with. If it's not just like, arguing about the facts and the results or whatever, but you're actually arguing about like murder or something severe where there's lots of, basically in a bench trial, they're only going to allow you like 2 or 3 witnesses on each side. They're not going to let you bring in 10 people and expert witnesses and all this. 2 or 3 witnesses tops. So if
What do
you
you mean,
can't
Beard?
prove all the charges
She
with
also
those 2
does
or 3
not enjoy the
witnesses,
grind.
then you need to push it to the docket.
Gotcha.
if
And I assume
the
if you
punishment is severe too, same thing. The judge won't entertain a bench trial if it's for something that
nice,
would be
Beard.
profound, like murder.
right, and I assume if you did request a bench trial like that, the judge would get back to you and say, no, put this on the docket.
Correct. What would likely happen instead? So if you go to the cheeseburger and you go to applications, you'll see a whole bunch of types of applications. Let's see. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 6 from the top in the application area, you're going to see one called prison hold notice. If someone commits a crime like murder and it's in all red in the charges area, which we'll look at, and it's first, they're going to be in prison for a long time, you don't just send them to prison for the 9s and just tell a lawyer to push it to a docket for you. You have to fill out a prison hold notice to let the DOC and the judges know that you're charging somebody with a serious crime and that they're going to be held until trial. They will very likely request a bail hearing. That doesn't always happen the same day, but they always want it to. Trust me, they always want it to happen the same day.
doing down there?
We're good. We're on docket, filing docket cases right now.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, we're getting food for everyone, and then if you guys are still working on that, we're gonna do the interview that we did miss.
Yeah, it works. I'll let you know as soon as we're done with snapshots and stuff, and let you know whereabouts we're at, so you can keep.
Yeah, I wouldn't put more than 10 minutes into the snapshot.
Yeah. Okay.
Just do a very quick thing.
Okay.
Quick about the prison hold notice. If you file a prison hold notice application, will judges and DOC receive a notification on their MDW?
Yes, they'll receive notification, and they'll be aware of it.
Okay.
So make sure you always submit that, and it'll ask you to do things like fill out. You could just go to the applications and prison hold notice. Click on it, so you'll see what happens there.
Gotcha.
For once, this is once that it doesn't just tell you to put a title in. Put the suspect's whole name in there. Put their state ID number in there. Put the report number and the
they
reason
give
for the whole
everybody
murder,
like a bunch of
something like that.
And this is
like judges and doctors and
Uh,
mechanics, and everybody's
pretty
kind of
much
got
the same time
a
you're
lot
jailing
going
them.
on.
Okay.
So you want the report to be done. So they're going to be sit there in the cell while you're finishing the report, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. Now it doesn't have to be ready to go to court like that minute, but understand that if your expectation is, boy, that was a big situation, took a long time. Oh, I'm beat. I'm ready for bed. I'll finish this tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and send you up on the hole for the 9s, and I'm going to head to bed. I'll finish this tomorrow. Please understand that there's a very high probability that this person will piss and moan and request a bail hearing, and the judge will get out of bed and come in town and grant them a bail hearing, and they're going to find out that you're not in town, and they're going to proceed with it anyway. The last time that happened was Sammy Sharkbait. He committed, I charged him with murder, and long thing. I put it in the report. I finished it like it's ready to go to trial, but I wasn't in town, so I went to bed. He requested a bail hearing, and the judge said, well, Nixon's not in town to defend it, so I don't really understand what the reason is for this. So bail granted with no conditions, which is a crazy, I've never heard of that for granting someone bail with no conditions, meaning he can commit all the felonies he wants. It's not going to violate his bail. He can stay out of prison until court, even though it's a murder case. So you want to submit I did submit the form and everything, but whatever, that's just a different thing. Anyway, so yeah, you fill out the report, explain why you've got probable cause to believe he committed murder, put all the evidence in there, put all the statements in there, submit the hold form, put the report number in there, send him.
Wild.
DOJ will get a notice that this person's being held. DOC will get a notice that this person's being held, and why. So if you're not in town and this person requests bail, there'll at least be some evidence that they can read and see, oh, I see. Gold sent this person to prison for murder because there was a gun found in his possession that came back to, them on the top of Mount Chiliad with a single bullet in their brain, and this was the casing that was found next to their body, and the projectile we dug out of their skull. So yeah, that seemed pretty solid. Okay, I would charge him with murder too. All right, bail denied, or bail granted, but if you fart too close to the courthouse, your bail is violated. So they'll come up with some kind of terms. Most of the judges that I've seen seem to grant bail for everybody for everything. So I've never seen anybody deny bail. So get used to bail being granted to the people that you're investigating. But the terms of the bail can range from pretty loose to very strict.
What are some of the stricter ones that you've seen?
Some of the strictest ones I've seen have been for bail violators and repeat violent gang members who've been put on huts over and over again. So I remember Slim from the Ballas was on trial for some drug-related trafficking thing, and then while he was on bail for it, he kidnapped a district attorney and tortured and shot him. And then the attorney general said he was going to look into it and get his bail revoked, so he kidnapped the attorney general and took him to Polito, to the chicken factory, and tried to torture him, unlock his phone, and get him to give up some details about the case. Me and Winters found him up there, and we had a shootout with them. We took them all down, and then the judge let him out on bail after that. But the terms were pretty severe. He could not have any contact with any members of his own gang. He could not come into the city of Los Santos. He had to spend the duration of his bail in the county
Jesus.
only. This is a guy who spends his life on Grove Street. So he had to spend the entire, until his trial, which was like a month away, he had to spend it in Grapeseed, Sandy Shores, Polito, driving around without talking to his boys from Grove. So, and he also obviously couldn't have a gun. He couldn't have any alcohol. He couldn't have any drugs. Any felony whatsoever would send him back with a parole violation. So this was a guy with no driver's license, so he couldn't even drive. It was brutal for him. So there's some pretty strict ones.
Sounds like some fun RP.
Okay. So make sure you spend time going through this MDW. There's a lot of information in here. We just went through a lot of stuff. There's tons of great examples and terrible examples of everything. So I can't even think of a person that I took a good mugshot of. What about Sharkbait? Take a good. Here we go. All right. So go to the profiles. Actually, go up to the cheeseburger and then go to profiles, and then clear any search criteria, and look for Sammy Sharkbait. First name Sammy, Sammy, Sharkbait, common spelling. This is an example of what a profile looks like, for a typical criminal in this town. You'll see that the picture area doesn't typically have one picture. The DMV will always have a picture in there. They have to take a picture. And their picture format is very wide. And so it's like one picture with their face in the middle, but it's like wide enough you could fit like 5 people in the picture. So once we get somebody in arrest, we will always get rid of their DMV picture and we'll replace it with a mugshot. Make sure you understand the concept of a mugshot is to get their ugly mug right in the shot. I don't want to see their belly button. I don't care what they're wearing for that day. I don't care about their entire outfit and 5 feet of air above their head. Those are terrible mugshots because it just wastes the picture and you can't even see the detail of the person's face. This is what a mugshot looks like, just above their head to just below their shoulders. Not a lot of dead space on the left or right of them. Because of the, I guess, size format, I guess you could say, of the area and the MDW profile, I have enough space to put 2 perfectly square pictures side by side. So the way my brain works is as soon as I heard that, I said, oh, well, let's get one of them facing forward and one of them facing to the side. That's perfect. You don't, if you can do that, great.
We
if
have
you need
food,
help
by
with
the
that,
way, if you guys
I can
want
help
to
you
take
with
a
that.
quick little break and grab food.
Abram, we're just about to finish up MDW instructions, so I'll send them up.
We're about to finish what? Because Gamble's such a loud ass mouth yapper. Yap, yap, yap.
MDW, we're just about to finish up MDW.
Okay, perfect.
And I'll send them up. So I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, picture. Yeah. If you can figure out how to take square pictures, great. If you need any help with that, I'm sure your FTOs can help you with that. I can help you with that if they can. Not everyone's an expert with photo editing or whatever, so I don't expect everyone to be perfect at it. All right. So and just like every city you've probably worked in, once you got the actual charges on someone, here, let me go to the incidents area, go to search everything, incidents, and look for like, I don't know. Golf gang robs ATM. That's from earlier tonight. Once you open that up, you're going to see on the top right, Joe Cruel and Gabriel Hunter got charged. Let's look at Joe Cruel. He got charged with petty larceny and resisting arrest. Just like every other city you've probably worked, you have to actually process the person. If you click on the word processed, you'll see a details box pop up that shows you, the time and fine, how much parole and how many points are on their license. There's a box that says pleaded guilty or processed, and there's a box at the top right that says warrant for arrest. If you didn't get this person, but you had probable cause that you know who they were and what crimes they committed, you could just check the warrant box, and that'll make a warrant out of them. That's what our buddy Shep here has. He's got a warrant for his arrest, a felony warrant. Anyway, so you could do that. Once you process someone, make sure you click processed. Otherwise,
me and this guy would be
literally
friends.
you're wasting your
Why?
time. Not checking the process box is basically just a report with nothing. It doesn't put anything on their profile. It doesn't apply any charges to them, whatever. Once you check the process box and hit submit,
yeah, but any of his stories,
crimes you charge them with automatically are applied to their MDW profile, and it puts them on parole automatically based on whatever parole is supposed to be. Not every crime has parole, by the way. Most crimes don't, but there are some more severe crimes that put them on parole afterwards.
This guy flashed his nipples at me.
Okay.
Excuse me?
I said what I said.
Okay, all right. Get 3. All right. So, and then the last
Hey,
thing I
free
want to
show.
show you is the fine and the jail time. So if you click on the details one more time, it says in the negotiation box, 700 months, 20 months, $700, 20 months, 0 parole, 0 points. For clarification, you could actually click that, and a little drop down will pop out from it, just so you can see what does default mean. Other than default, you can also do guilty plea, bench trial, or parole violation. The names are pretty self-explanatory. Parole violation is if they violated parole, and this is not the first time they're being arrested. Guilty plea is if they pled guilty, obviously. Bench trial is if they're found guilty, but this is at the end of a bench trial. The judges will typically give you a recommendation at the conclusion of a bench trial as far as what they recommend that you do, but they leave it to your discretion as to what to actually send them for and build them for. So I typically go for what's in the bench trial thing, plus maybe a little bit less if it's a really long trial and it was whatever. So use your discretion on that. Don't change what was this Pond? Don't change Lieutenant Pond's report. So just hit cancel there. So this was 20 months. I'm in 26076. Golf gang robbed ATM. So Joe Cruel got 700 months, 20 months in prison. How do you actually bill him? Okay. How do you actually jail him and fine him? If you actually are in the report and click on Joe Cruel's name, and this will happen a lot. You'll have to see how to do this. Good Lord, let me turn.
Keep showing me his nipples.
Let me turn this down a little.
Why is he showing you his nipple?
Okay. So actually click on Joe Cruel's name in the report, and you'll see edit charges, edit details, fine, view profile, or remove person. If you click fine, don't worry, it won't actually fine him yet. You have to hit submit, but don't hit submit. When you hit fine, a little box will pop up saying how much you're fining him and what the reason is. Up until recently, this is all we needed. So $700 fine, reason, it automatically puts the report number in there. You don't have to type that in. It's automatic. But one thing you want to be aware of is we now have skip tracers, which are used to be called bounty hunters. They'll chase people down who don't pay their fines, and they will cut them a discount if the fine was for a non-violent crime that they did. They will not cut them any slack if it was a violent crime. Like I said earlier, including the threat of violence. Threats of violence is violence. Unfortunately, the skip tracers can't see our reports. So even if you put report 26076, that doesn't mean anything to them. They don't know what the charges were. So they've told us in the past, if they have no reason to believe there was a violent crime, they will always give them a break and offer them the discount. So what you want to do is where it says reason, just do report 26076 and in parentheses violent.
All right, we're coming.
And that will give them an idea that there was a violent crime. Or what we could also do is, reason report number 26076 non-violent. That way, when they get, picked up by a skip tracer, they know what they're dealing with. Anyway, don't click submit, but if you did hit submit, that would immediately apply the fine to their account. No additional information needed, nothing else that you got to do. All you'd have to do is jail them at this point. So to do that, again, you'd click on Joe Cruel's name and you hit view profile. You can see his profile pop up. You can see whatever. You should have this up. But when you're going to jail or bill someone, you should already have their profile up because you already had to look and see if they had warrants and make sure their DNA was on file and make sure they had a mugshot. You should already be at the point where you have their screen up. But at the top of the tab where it says Joe Cruel, it'll say 57076-profile. That 57056
The Onyx-a-thon starts tomorrow, yeah.
His ID number. So to jail, now that you've billed him, you would just put your MDD away, and then in your, MDT, do /jail state, and even if you started doing that, it'll tell you state ID, time, parole. So the state ID is 5706, which you just got from his MDW profile. Time was 20 months, so you could put 20, and then parole 0 because it didn't tell you to put any parole. If there was parole, it would be in the little box I showed you where it said dollars, months, parole, and points. But like I said, 90% of crimes don't have any parole in them. Things like gang-related shootings and things we don't want people to do constantly do have parole. So keep in mind there might be parole. So if they do have a parole, it'll be in this little. You'll do /jail, state ID number, jail time, and then parole time. So it would be like 20 and then 40 or something like that. The 20 would be jail time. The 40 would be parole.
Yeah, if I end up sleeping.
So that's how you jail somebody. Before you actually jail someone for the first time or any time, make sure you, like Winters was talking about, go to your radio. To look at your, you don't look at your radio. Look at the radio channels, like the dispatch thing, and you'll see channel number 7 is Department of Corrections. I wish that there was always this many DOC around. I see like a bunch of DOC on channel 7 right now. I love to see that. A lot of times you're going to look to DOC and channel 7 is going to be empty, so whatever, it is what it is. But if you see a bunch of DOC around like this, you would go to channel 7 on your primary, and you would say something like, Los Santos Sheriff's Department to Department of Corrections, and then they would say, yeah, send it. And you'll say, I've got Joe Cruel on the way up to see you folks for 20 months. They'll typically respond by saying something like, 10-4, did he do anything violent? Or is he in good mood? And you'll say something like, oh, yep, he committed a non-violent crime, just some petty larceny. And then they might ask something like, is he coming up alone or with any friends? And you'll say, oh, he's coming up alone this time. Okay, you can send him. Thank you. 20 months. And you send him up. Obviously, if he's like saying, I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to fuck up every cop I see. I'm going to go to his DOC. I'm going to slit their throats. Let them know that. Let them know he's coming up. He's a little disgruntled. He's not in the best of moods. You might want to isolate him from the rest of the pack. And by the way, he's coming up with 4 of his violent gang members. Okay, well, now we know that. Thank you. Don't send up 4, like, ballers that are all saying they're going to kill every cop and just be like, hey, DOC, we just sent up 4 ballers. Good luck. Like, don't tell them what they're getting into.
I'm here till midders. Yeah, probably.
Okay. The only thing we need to do before we take a break is just show you how to run casings. This is something you're going to do like every day. So, do we have a casing we can run? Winters, is there like a test casing we can run?
A test casing?
Yeah.
Check report 1973.
1973.
1973 report. Where's reports?
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch in here. Perfect. Okay, so go to that. If you still have it open, go to the do not delete test report. But if you don't have it, go to incident report 1973. In the bottom left, there's a bunch of evidence, including projectiles and casings. Oftentimes you get to a scene, a bunch of casings. You'll be tasked with going back to the PD, running it, and seeing if it's the same that match to a suspect that's in custody on the other side of town. So let's just say that second casing, F3C8, there's 2 of them. To run that, you could just, actually, in this case, you can actually just run it. So you don't have to necessarily type it anywhere. So once you pick up the casing, and we'll show you later how to actually collect
I was thinking about
casings,
doing that,
but
Killa.
let's say you have a casing. The way that that's in there is just somebody collected the casing, put it in evidence bag, and put it in the evidence locker for that report. Once you refresh the report, those casings will automatically be cataloged and put into the evidence section with those codes. So nobody had to type that in. So that's the second casing, F3C8, just click it and go to run casing, and it'll quickly tell you any reports that casing was, comes back to. So in this case, it just comes back to this report, but it also might, in your case, come back hot. And if it comes back hot, additional reports will show up where it'll be like, oh, it also showed up with a murder on the top of Chiliad where it was found next to a dead body. And you're like, okay, yeah, that gun's hot.
So what you're telling me is I don't have to spend 2 hours deduplicating 35 casings and projectiles by hand.
No, you don't have to do that, and you don't have to type in or keep a notepad with like weird codes like ZF072 lowercase b. And if you don't get one of those perfectly right, you just messed up the whole case. None of this is dependent on your ability to copy and paste. You just put the evidence in there. Our tech wizards in the MDW will catalog it for you and put it in the report.
Yeah, it is a lot, but
and
I'm
then
sure
can
once you
just
do it a couple times,
search
it's
it.
fairly easy.
I think that might be the best thing I've ever heard.
Oh, I could cry.
If you think that's cool, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. Here, follow me. Let's go into the evidence room.
Ooh.
Let's not get too close to the doors because I can't unlock it. There we go. These doors get really sticky when there's too many people close to them. So this little doohickey right here is our evidence analysis machine. Every evidence room has one pretty much. You can't look at evidence lockers unless you're like in an evidence room. If you try to, the MDW will just give you an error that you can't see the evidence. So it's kind of annoying, but I understand why it's like that. So once you're in this room, go back to that report 1973. And in the top right, hit the ... in the evidence area and go to enter evidence viewer. Enter evidence viewer.
Oh my God.
All right, I'm going to talk to you on radio now, because the evidence viewer, you probably aren't going to be able to talk back to me.
Oh my
Can
god.
You can't talk back to me in the evidence viewer. You use your radios. Can anyone talk to you in there? I don't think you can. No, you can't. Okay.
No.
No, they can't hear shit. Well, they can hear me, but they can't say anything. I can say anything I want to you right now. You stupid losers. Anyway, so on the left side of the screen, you're going to see all the evidence in this report. You can obviously take your time and look at that later, but for now, I'd like to just go to the M9 pistol.
M9 pistol.
It should say M9
Right.
stock, cool gun
Damn,
or something
look
like
at
that.
this.
And if you click on that, it might take you a second to find it, so I'll give you a second. But once you find the pistol, on the top right, it will not only tell you, you know, the full description of the gun, but it'll tell you who it's registered to.
Nicole Nash.
And from there, you can actually run that gun in the MDW.
Yeah, this is wild. Well.
Okay, so basically, it's not really that different from how we ran it when we're here in the real world, but in virtual reality, in the
Thank
evidence
you,
viewer,
McLaughlin.
you just run the gun. It'll tell you any other reports that gun's hot to. You can see that it's a cool gun registered to Nash. You could do things like it might be a gun that's registered to, you know, Bob Smith, but it was found on Nash. So you could see, you could put in the description area, gun seized from Nicole Nash, even though that you can see it's registered to somebody else. So that'll basically be proof that this is a stolen gun or whatever the case may be. It's very important to differentiate rather when a gun is registered to one person but it was seized from another person. Because if you don't put who it was seized from, a lot of cops and a lot of people will assume that this is here and must have been in that person's possession. Who it's owned by. So make a point to say this gun was seized from this person, not the person who it's registered to necessarily. Okay, so to get out of there, you have to hit escape. Your little virtual keyboard there. Perfect. If you ever have trouble getting out of that, sometimes things get pretty weird. And especially if you faint. Oh boy. If you faint in that evidence viewer or in virtual reality, which we'll do some other time, you'll wake back up in virtual reality. It's pretty scary. You can walk around the whole city and you'll never see anybody. And you're like, wow, what am I in the apocalypse? And you'll see doors opening, but you'll not see anybody. So if that ever happens to you, don't freak out. Just come to a police station, enter virtual reality, and then exit it again, and you'll be reconnected back to the real world. Trust me.
If I open doors, will they see it?
I think so, yeah. They'll be like, what the fuck?
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. They'll see your blip, too, which is also weird. They're like, what the hell? I saw you moving through the police station, but I didn't see you. Anyway, also, if you die in virtual reality, you die in the real world, just like the Matrix.
Oh my.
Okay, all right, let's just quickly run through the snapshots, because those are not something we use very often. So go back to that report, 1973. Underneath the evidence area, there's a snapshot. I want you to go to the snapshot for onboarding test CSI and enter volume.
What the fuck is this?
Okay. Welcome to virtual
Whoa.
reality. We can make recreations of the real world in here. And now I want to make sure you understand, this is not evidence, okay? I've had several people try to present this in court or be under the impression that this is evidence. This is absolutely not evidence. It might be admissible in court, but only as a visual aid to help the courtroom understand more complex situations, like gang-related shootings or, you know, it's difficult for a judge to understand why you felt the need to take action based on threats when to them it seemed like you were safe based on the description. But if you paint the picture of what you saw or what you were afraid of, it's much easier for them to understand why you acted and the way you acted. So that's more what this is. It's a narrative device, not an evidence. Because I could put Godzilla over there and I could put 6 guys with machine guns on this side of the car. It doesn't mean that's what happened. You know what I mean? Anybody could do anything in here.
Are you sure?
So this is Nash shooting a deputy in the head. You can put cars down in virtual reality. You can put deputies down in virtual reality. You can put different colored lines and points to indicate outgoing fire from police or fire incoming from suspects. You can make it like so bad guys are red. You can put individual cops like Nash, where you could like ask individual officers on a scene, hey,
This is wild,
I
dude.
need your in the locker room when you get dressed, the dry cleaners have a JSON code on the inside of your tag, so they know where you're dry cleaning, you know, who to give it back to. And we can use that same code to recreate you in virtual reality here with that JSON code. So you can ask all the cops on a scene, hey, I need your JSON codes. I'm making a virtual reality snapshot because of the scene. And we'll just give you like our thing like this, and you can make all individual cops where you saw them. And you can't make them doing everything, but you can make them do some basic things like kneeling down, pointing a gun, standing up, pointing a gun. I think you can make them passed out. I'm not sure about that. You could put some basic cars down, cop cars. You can't put every car, and you can't put everything that someone could be doing. So keep in mind there are some limitations.
This is
but,
crazy.
This is the gist of what we try to do with this type of thing. Any questions about virtual reality?
No, this is
no,
amazing.
sir. Very cool.
Like actually, like in depth do it because this is beautiful.
Oh, you could by all means. I mean, you guys are all fast tracked, so I expect that you'll have some time to kill. And once you're out there and you're like between calls and stuff, by all means, take some time. Don't just peruse through the MDW, but also peruse through virtual reality. Make some of these up. You know, it's really cool. So for now, before we leave, by the way, if you need to leave, just go to F1 and there's a little circle well, for me, it's in the bottom left. Could be anywhere for you. It's like a little line with an arrow. You can exit if you need to. Before you exit, though, you can try to like place some stuff. Don't save this. When you go to leave, it'll ask you if you want to save it. Just hit cancel. But for now, just go to CSI place object. Sorry. And then go to, there's 3 categories. Like I said, the line is for like ballistics, interpretations of what color. PED is like people and vehicle. So place a PED and place a vehicle somewhere, just so you get the hang of like how this works.
Oh.
Again, don't save this, but yeah, just put somebody down somewhere.
Cool.
And then after you put a person down, put a vehicle down next to them.
Oh.
Did you put a person down to just like default Andy? Are you trying to put somebody down? So you go to the F1 menu.
Recreate an entire scene like this?
Place object. It's like a little icon.
This is fucking wild, dude.
Yeah. And then click where it says type, go to head, and then hit submit, and then just walk somebody somewhere and put them down. Save them. You're not actually saving them if you put. I know the button says save, but it doesn't really save them. It just puts. Now I can't see who you put down. You can't see who I put down. That's fine. So it looks to me like you're all just standing there next to nobody. But if you walk up to the dude that you put down, you can edit head customization, or you can move him somewhere else. You can give him a weapon. You could select what kind of animation he's doing, or you could delete him. So if you hit edit head customization, you can see like. You know, the suspect was wearing like a purple shirt or like a cowboy hat. You can go through here and put a cowboy hat on the suspect. Even if you don't know what he looked like exactly, you can kind of do your best to recreate what the suspect looked like. And that way, if we get the suspect in court or we get a picture of him, it could look similar to what your description looked like.
Cool.
Same thing with guns. Same thing. If you want to put down a vehicle, it's the same thing. You walk up to the vehicle, you can edit it. Actually, you can't edit it. It'll give you an option of what type of vehicle you want to put down when you select the vehicle. You can't select the color, but you can select the type of vehicle. All right. Once you put a vehicle down, some kind of vehicle, I don't care what, and some kind of ped down, and figured out how you can put cowboy hats on them and whatever. Give them a gun. I don't care what kind of gun you give them. Give them something. And maybe make them like point the gun or something like that, or crouch. And then that basically, once you've done that, you've pretty much done everything that you need to do. So.
Oh.
Let me know if any of you have trouble doing any of that. But I'm assuming you can all figure that out in the course of about a minute or two. So I'll give you a minute.
Very cool, dudes. Wonder how cool it would be to like create an entire scene this way, but not admissible in court, right? But I'm assuming once you save it, everybody can see it that comes in, obviously.
All right, everybody get a chance to put down a vehicle and edit their pedestrian, whatever.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Again, feel free to come back into virtual reality anytime you want to. You can either mess with other. This is the cool thing about it. You're not going to mess somebody else's virtual reality up if you join it. If they've got a snapshot, you can just explore what amazing things other people have made some really cool ones. So feel free to jump into them, tinker around with them. You can shoot Nash in the face.
Excuse me?
It doesn't do anything. As long as when you go to escape, you can exit here, and you just don't.
Sir.
It'll ask you if you want to save it. Just hit cancel. It'll send you back into the real world, and it won't mess up their snapshot. If you do decide to save it, you will not overwrite theirs. What it'll do is it'll make a new one that you'll name. So it'll add an additional snapshot. So don't worry. You can basically never completely overwrite what somebody else has done. It's pretty foolproof.
That's perfect.
So with that said, go to F1 and go to exit, CSI exit, and it's going to ask if you want to save and hit cancel.
That's wonderful.
Oh.
Oof. Really use some of my real bullets in the real world. Isn't that weird?
That's great.
Okay. So good. I think we're done here. I think we're going to take a quick food break. I could also use a drink from my fridge, and my voice is starting to get a little hoarse. So let's take a few minutes.
Yeah, Chad, I need to grab a
Nash,
drink.
what do you want me to send them for food upstairs somewhere?
Yeah, I have food in the trunk of the supervisor illusion.
A firm. Winters, do you mind leading them to that?
And I guess you
Follow
guys
me,
can show them how
Kadooks.
to get into the cars when. you come
All right,
up
Winters
here,
is
too.
going down the hall there. You follow him.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I got to get a drink.
Ooh.
I'm thirsty. I'm also beat.
Let's see if it's in the trunk of this one. Not that one. Where's the supervisor vehicle?
Should be.
I'm late tired. Tomorrow we probably ain't starting till like 10.
There we go.
See my family in the morning.
That's a lot of food.
I'm just gonna use the outhouse over here.
Mm-hmm.
All
All right, dig in.
Oh,
Alright,
what do you
get
think
some
of?
food, and then once you're done, I'm gonna
Give me
get
1
a
second,
vehicle,
chat.
and we're gonna do a little practicing with Windows.
Oh boy, Windows.
Oh, 1 sec.
What department? The county? All right, let's go. Let's talk and walk and get him changed real fast.
All right, cadets. Once you get your food, come on down here to the. I think this is called a pigeon vehicle to light up.
I lost my hat and my glasses. You showed him your nipples. Oh my god. And didn't have eyebrows.
Bowers feeling left out apparently.
I don't want to see your nipples. No, I do, Cyrus. I do not want to see your nipples.
Yes, you do. Stop lying to them.
I'll catch up with you
It's
in a
not
bit.
workplace harassment yet.
Yo.
That would be funny. Oh, you do need to have.
What's y'all's
All
biggest
right.
fear? What's your biggest fear?
Spiders.
Go before,
Really
before
deep
they
water.
wanna- Deep water spiders. Okay. The rest of y'all.
I hate spiders.
Judges.
Judge it. Oh.
Really
True.
bad splinters.
Oh God.
Okay. What's yours?
Oh, mine was spiders.
No, I'm talking about winters.
Oh, mine?
What's your biggest fear?
I'm not afraid of anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
okay. Or hornets. I fucking hate hornets, chat.
Okay, I guess you could say heights, but I'm not really afraid of high places. I'm just afraid of falling from high places.
I'm
really.
afraid of
So
being
I guess you could say
That's a
gravity.
rational fear.
Yeah.
I have a fear
All right.
of being alone.
Damn, that's deep.
Never being loved.
Oof.
That's too deep, chat.
That's so understandable, though.
Deep.
All right, now that we're on such engaging discussions and we're done with the MDW, we're going to learn a little bit here about vehicle stops. Specifically, when you approach the driver's side window, let's just say I'm a suspect, you just pulled over for speeding. Now, if you've ever done police work before, you're probably used to the fact that you walk up, you introduce yourself, you explain why you stopped them, and then you ask them for the driver's license. And you're probably thinking something like, why don't you flash me your driver's license? You know, show it to me. And then just like information pops up and you're just like, hey, there it is. There's your name. Well, welcome here. We have physical IDs. I'm going to slide it to you through the window. But here's the thing. You got to look at the window. You got to peek at the window. Only then can I give you something. So if you walk up right now, you just say, can you hand me the driver's license? The answer is no, I can't. But if you walk up to the window, you peek the window, and you pass through the window, then you ask me for the license, then I can give it to you. So why don't you walk up one at a time and practice that right now? Look, peek at the window, ask me for the license, I'll give it to you, then you give it back. And then
Is the
let's move on to
pigeon's
the next
window
person.
finicky, or is it pretty straightforward?
I've never tried it. Club, can you look at the window?
Yep, I'm all
Yeah.
set.
All right, I put my
straightforward,
driver's
it's not all
license in the
funky
window
like.
there. Do you see it?
Yep, Shep Winters, state ID 3202, etc. A bunch of
Fantastic.
other info.
So from there, you can take it into your pocket. You can take it back to your car. You can, use it however you want. Once you're done, just make sure you walk up and put it back in the window so that I can take it, just like that. Put it back in my pocket. Remind people to do that, because if they don't take it and they leave it in the window and they drive away and you're gone, it's gone for them. Like if they left it in the window, they lose it. So do remind people. There's so many people that we pull over there. We say, "Where's your license?" And they say, "I never got it back. Never." For the last officer, never give it back. And the officer will 9 times out of 10 say, "Sir, I put it right in the window for you," but they didn't check. So please remind them to go in the window and get their stuff
That's a
back.
cool feature too.
Registration,
There's a lot of great
license.
features. Holy shit.
All right, let's give you.
Hello, may I see your license and registration?
Sure, there you go.
Perfect. Once you get it near the window. I'm just
Thank
gonna get
you.
into a habit of that.
I'm
Well,
ready
the
for
reason
bed.
I asked about the whole is the window finicky.
I guess. Here you go.
Large vehicles like semi trucks, box trucks, and stuff. The window is like, it's kind of weird. You gotta
All
look.
right.
You gotta search for it. Trying to reach up to the window is tough sometimes, so you just gotta keep looking around.
I never had windows with cubby holes. It's
Hi, sir. Could I see your driver's license and registration, please?
There you go.
All right. Make sure you go ahead and grab that back.
Excellent. All right, good job, everybody.
Huh.
Shep really wanted to use the pigeon.
I can understand why.
It's adorable.
You guys are gonna have to do auxiliary hours in it. Congrats.
perfect.
I'm down.
All right, for the next few slides, we're actually going to go up to the top of the stairs, but by those couches. So I'll meet you up there.
Welcome to your world. Why you don't sleep?
Standing around.
Tired but not sleeping? Same.
So the couches and shit over here, you're gonna see the coffee
Did anybody not grab food?
The shift 2 note in there that Deputy Nash wanted me to put in. Should I just put one about the shortened answers as well?
Yeah, that's fine. Right.
Oh.
Did you all eat? Everybody eat?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Vanessa says 8. Is it Sierra or Sam? For phonetic.
Either one's fine. Just make sure it's one of those two, please.
10-4.
What did you? What?
All right, for those
do
of you
sleep just
following
really
along
late,
at
me
home
too.
on your onboarding slides, the next slide is slide 13. For your convenience, I put it up here on the TV. This just includes a number of handy commands. I'm not going to bother to go through individually. Just make sure you peruse this so you understand it. It's all your standard things like issuing fines, jail time, indicating your blip color on the GPS, running plates, flagging CIDs, which flags all of the plates of somebody, of individual, removing the flags, and so on and so forth. All right, the next slide is slide 14. This talks about phone hacking. So there is a computer downstairs. I think Nixon showed it to you, where you can crack into phones. You don't do that. You don't just take everybody's phone, just crack it to access that. You gotta have the subpoena. Judge has to approve it, so on and so forth. So if you're not doing that, if you don't have an approved subpoena to acquire that information, don't mess with that machine. Don't do that.
It's fair.
All right. The next slide talks about CID and evidence training. Did you guys do that when you were looking at the snapshots, or were you just, looking at placing people and vehicles?
The second one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we
All right.
just placed people in vehicles.
All right, I'll go down later. I'll come back to this slide in a little bit. Since we're already up here, I'm going to stick to more, just going over some things. We'll do this. We'll circle back to the evidence collection because I do want to show it to you. All right, open to slide 17. This is talking about some brief legal definitions and frameworks. This is important stuff for police work in this state. Again, I'm assuming that because, a lot of you guys have previous experience, you may be very well aware of what these are, so I'm not going to belabor them unless you have questions. So the first one is reasonable suspicion. That's a reasonable presumption that a crime has been, is being, or is about to be committed. It's based upon a reasonable belief based on facts and circumstances, based on your training experience. It is a lower bar than probable cause, but it's more than a hunch. You do have to have reasonable suspicion, and if you do have that, you can detain someone, you can question them, and you can frisk them. You cannot search them, and you cannot arrest them unless you reach the next bar, which is probable cause. A detention is a brief cursory hold, and questioning that is based on reasonable suspicion. It must last no longer than necessary and must be conducted within the least intrusive and reasonably available means. So you can't just hold somebody indefinitely, questioning them over and over again until you establish probable cause. Basically, reasonable suspicion, you have it or you don't after a brief cursory hold. If it's unduly long, it becomes basically unconstitutional unless you have probable cause. All right, so reasonable suspicion is enough to detain someone and frisk them. The next highest standard is probable cause. That's having a sufficient reason based upon facts to believe a crime has been, is being, or about to be committed. It's based on logical beliefs supported by facts and circumstances that a crime has been committed, and it is enough to move forward with an arrest and or search and seizure of someone's person. An arrest, as opposed to a detainment, is taking someone into custody through a significant restraint on movement, including but not limited to handcuffs or restraints on the person. Arrests are made using probable cause, not reasonable suspicion, but probable cause. So that means you have some facts and circumstances. And if not already physically restrained, individuals will be remanded to custody with the least force possible. Next slide talks a little bit more about searches and seizures. It breaks down searches and seizures of a person, a vehicle, or a property. So law enforcement officers may search individuals if they have one of the following conditions met. 1, consent has been granted by the suspect. 2, the law enforcement officer has probable cause to conduct a search. We like to remind people that you're always allowed to ask for consent to search a person or a vehicle. Lieutenant Nash will tell you consent is sexy. We love cadets who ask for consent to things. A lot of times you can get them to talk to you. You can get them to let you check their vehicle. You can let them to search their pockets because you simply ask. So if you forget that and you're only going based on what evidence you can collect, you might be shortchanging yourself. A lot of people will just consent to a search, and that can make things a lot easier.
That's how Wrangler used to do it.
So you're allowed to search a vehicle under the following conditions. Again, consent has been granted by the owner. Probable cause to believe evidence of crime is inside the vehicle. An arrest has been made. Now you have to search the vehicle related to that arrest. The vehicle is being legally impounded. Therefore, you have to catalog and inventory what's in the vehicle because technically we're responsible for everything in it if we're impounding it. Or lastly, a search warrant has been requested and approved by a judge. You're allowed to search somebody's property, their home or RV, in the event that consent has been granted or a search warrant is requested and approved. Any questions on reasonable suspicion, probable cause, detention, arrests, or searching somebody or their vehicle?
None so far.
All set.
Nope.
Good. All right, it's pretty straightforward, but it is very important. I don't want any cadets to, get sued or lose their job because they don't know that they weren't allowed to search somebody right away. They got to establish that probable cause before a search can take place. All right, the next slide is going over the use of force continuum. It's the amount of force.
He's not changing it.
Required by law enforcement to compel compliance. Or skipping that, apparently.
They should know about.
Yeah, they're too fast. They know this.
guys know what use of force is, right?
I think you're whispering.
Right.
Nash.
You guys know what use of force is, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we quizzed all of them during their interviews.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to go straight to booking procedures?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I would
probably.
say keep it in a 5-minute range. And we don't need to go
Yeah,
into
just an
super depth
overview.
because most
Where to
most of them should
stand, how to
know
seize, how to get your stuff back, stuff like
and
that.
have them take DNA and stuff.
Okay. So we're going to talk about booking procedures. You're allowed to book people at Sandy Shores Sheriff's Office, where you presently are. Vespucci PD. Actually, isn't that one closed down now?
Yeah, it's destroyed.
All right. Disregard Vespucci PD.
I forgot to take that off.
Davis Police Department down there south side. Grapeseed Sheriff's Department. Just north
So
of
many
here, so one
police
place.
departments.
We should add Mantis Building. You're allowed to book people at Mantis if you're if it's nearby. We got great facilities there. If you are not familiar with the Mantis Building, that is the Motorway Authority and Non-Compliant Traffic Interdiction Services, the headquarters of the Highway Patrol. It's just off Palomino Freeway, south of the Palomino gas station. You can also go to Mission Row Police Department or the Paleto Bay Sheriff's Office up north. Standard procedure when you're processing somebody, first off, escort them into the building and into their cell at all times while you are transporting suspects. They should be in handcuffs. Suspects will remain in restraint until they're in the cell, and you're not allowed to put them in a cell with somebody else. Elsewise, shenanigans shall take place. All right.
I love
Once they're in the
shenanigans.
cell, please perform a secondary search to make sure that there was no miscommunication between any officers and the person didn't get searched. Just check for any contraband, hidden knives, lockpicks, etc. Once you're sure that everything in their pockets is legally their possession, you can you can seize their possessions at the nearest water cooler. Each
Sorry, Chad, it's
booking
super dull.
facility has a water cooler right near the cells. You simply
I'm
seize their
just chilling,
possessions.
listening.
They will get that back once they get out of prison. Nobody has to give their stuff back. If you do have to fetch something out, you can get that at the water cooler. While they're in the cell, check to see their profile. Make sure they don't have any warrants. Make sure that their IDs are all up to date. If they don't have an ID, if they don't have fingerprints on file, you can collect those right there while they're at the booking facility. You can take their mugshot, update their MDW profile, like Lieutenant Nixon was saying. If they're a first-time offender and they're brand new, you're going to have to do that mugshot. You can take them into the mugshot room. Each one has an appropriate mugshot room. So you can take a photograph of their front and profile, put that in
Ain't
there.
gonna remember any of this shit.
If
It's
they
all in
have committed
practice.
all
in
it's on the next
practice.
slide. It's a violent felony. You can collect their DNA, and then that will update their. You use the DNA collection kit that you can get from the armory to collect their DNA, and then that will go into their profile that their DNA is on file. Please make sure that when you're doing a mug shot, it's just their mug, their face. Don't do a full body shot. Make sure that they remove masks, sunglasses, hats, any coverings that can conceal their identity. And they're not authorized to pose or make silly faces in their mugshots, please. All right, so once they're photographed, mugshot, DNA collected, and their possessions are all seized, make sure they're back in the cell, exit the cell, and then you can remove their restraints once they're safely in the cell with the door locked behind them. Once that happens, it's time for the fun to begin. That's when you inform them of their charges. You talk about any negotiations regarding if they're going to plead guilty or if you're going to have to call a lawyer down there. Make sure that if they have not been read their custody rights, that you read them their rights. Make sure that they know that they have the right to an attorney and a bench trial if a judge is available. Again, verify that they don't have any active warrants, because if you send somebody up and they had an active warrant, you just blew it. That was the opportunity to serve the warrant. So can't serve it anymore once they've been arrested and in custody and gone to jail. Don't stack charges. So if somebody committed a crime, just try to charge them with the crime. If they committed 2 crimes, by all means, charge them with the 2 crimes. But don't try to look up every possible definition for everything along the way. Every single red light that they ran during the pursuit is kind of included in reckless evading. So don't charge for running stop signs and red lights and damaging property. It's all kind of included in reckless evading. All right, so once you got their charges ready, you can talk to them if they want to plead guilty. If they don't, get a lawyer down there. If they don't want a lawyer, just proceed with the booking. There's a couple options. I'm sure you'll go through this, with an FTO. But once somebody does plead guilty, there are a couple of options for if they have overdue fines or not, and things like that. Pleading guilty will reduce their time and fine a little bit, unless they have overdue fines. Please make sure if somebody does request an attorney, you do so that you can find it right in your phone. Go to the directory. You can see. Oh, sorry, not the directory. Open your phone. Go to City Hall, government employees, and you can see under DOJ attorneys that are on duty. They're not only listed, you can see who's available and who's busy, and right there's a phone or a text. You can call or text them right away. So it's very, very easy to tell somebody which attorneys are around. Give them a call. So again, if somebody has the right to an attorney, if they request one, you have to give them one. Likewise, if they request a bench trial, make every effort to request a bench trial. You can do that. There's a Discord email address where you can make judges available that there is a bench trial request. So if there's not a judge already in the city, you can try to get one into the city. Again, if it can't happen, hey, it can't happen, but you do have to try. And believe Nixon showed you any incident report can be promoted to a bench trial so that the judges can see all the stuff that they need to see and the defense attorneys can see it as well.
What would you say is a reasonable amount of time to wait for a judge for a bench trial?
If they are responding within 10-15 minutes, that's fine. If it's going beyond that, it's not going to happen.
All right, cool.
So I just say I request it as soon as they request it, and then I still go about my, letting them know about their charges. But if it goes beyond, I'd say 10-15 minutes, you're not obligated to wait a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour. I mean, by that point, it goes longer than the jail time probably would have been. So.
Yep, gotcha.
And they still, I mean, again, if they're serious about it, they can plead not guilty. You can still charge them, fine them, send them up, and they can just appeal it. So if they're serious about wanting to appeal it, they can get a judge. They can go to the regular docket, and maybe the charge gets thrown out after all. So they don't really lose anything. All right, if a lawyer is requested and you call them and they come down, please meet them or have somebody go up and meet them in the lobby and bring them down. Make sure they are escorted by law enforcement officers. They are also subject to be searched. Make sure they're not smuggling anything in. And it's not typical. Most lawyers are honest, law-abiding people on the up and up, but some can tend to be very, very friendly with the criminal element. So just make sure you're checking them. Make sure they're not sneaking anything. Inform the attorney and any paralegals they have of the incident and the charges they face. Try to give them a quick rundown before they speak to their client. Give them privacy. Don't be sitting right over their shoulder while they're talking to the client. Give them privacy. They have the right to that. And of course, after they speak, you can decide on what course of action will be established. Maybe you drop some charges. Maybe you decide you're going to stand pat, or whatever you're going to do that.
Yeah,
with,
Chicklets trolls a lot.
Your fellow officers that were on the scene. And of course, their attorney, the defense attorney, as you negotiate any deal.
I love Chicklets.
All right, next slide is talking about warrants. I know that Nixon told you how easy it is to see on the profile of any suspect if they have a warrant. So there really is no excuse to process somebody and not realize they had a warrant. All it takes is a second to click on their name and open their profile, and in big red letters it'll say active warrant. If they have that, then you simply open the warrant, add up how much time and money is on the warrant, and add that time and fine to their current charge, and just make sure they get fined for all their fines, and they get the double time. So they go for the full time.
I love Dick.
They're probably going to say, no, that warrant is bullshit. Please don't give it to me. Can I haggle that down?
He doesn't love a little bit of Dick.
Warrants are not really something that we can negotiate because the law enforcement officer who wrote it is not available to defend. The warrant stands on their report. So you can't just say, well, I'm just going to dismiss it because I don't think it was very good. It's kind of up to that officer who wrote it. Now, if they are available and they want to assist in booking, sure. But, most of the time they're not going to be around.
I'm going to also add on to that. If it is an absolute dog shit warrant that you see, don't say it to them. You can always call a lieutenant plus and get their opinion on it, and they can drop it. If again, if there is no PC, it is very clear it's a dog shit warrant. Just call lieutenant plus and have them look over it. But we shouldn't be dropping anything warrant wise.
Yep. And like I said, that last bullet under warrants is what I already addressed earlier. Warrants that are not served during an arrest scenario are invalidated and are void. So if you pick up, Sammy shark bait for, flipping you off and throwing a bottle at you, so you're going to charge him with simple assault, and you'd book him and send him off, and you didn't check his warrant, he has a warrant for 3 times attempted murder of a law enforcement officer and terrorism, well, good job. You just sent a guy for 10 months who probably had years to serve, and now that warrant is invalidated. So like I said, no excuse for not checking. Just check to see if they have a warrant before you send them off. When it comes to licenses, weapons licenses will be removed if an individual commits a misdemeanor or a felony involving a firearm. Okay, that does not mean they have to fire the firearm. If they point it at someone and say, "Give me your car," that's Grand Theft Auto, but they used the firearm to get the. So if you arrest them for that charge, you can take their weapons license. Driver's licenses cannot be suspended by law enforcement officers except for automatic 15-point accruals on their license, or DUIs, which is an automatic suspension. DNA collection. We talked about you can use the DNA kit to collect DNA from suspects arrested for violent felonies or DUIs. It's very easy. You just walk up, you swab their cheek, you get the DNA, and boom, just like that, the DNA is on file. Any crimes that they commit in the future where DNA is left behind, we now have their DNA on file to match them definitively to that scene. So please remember to do that. It's a big help, especially for people who are being arrested for a first offense. If it's a violent crime, collect that DNA.
Is that something that we need to add to their MDW profile manually, or is that updated automatically?
I believe that is updated automatically when you collect it, because you collect it, and with the DNA kit, that gets handed over to forensics, and they update it. So if you refresh their MDW page, it should say DNA is on file.
All right, cool.
All right, next slide talks about our standards for arrest report policies. Arrest reports and civilian reports must be completed within 24 hours of an incident or arrest. No excuses for this. If you're on duty and you're handling an arrest for a robbery, you can't just send the person to prison, sign off duty, and go fuck off, and then just not write your reports. If you're doing that, you're doing a disservice not only to that suspect who now doesn't have a report that describes how he was in jail, but also any victims, because if that person challenges that, judge is going to throw it out. That's no justice for the victim. It makes us all look bad. So don't get in the habit of doing that. Sometimes a situation will happen at the very end of your shift. I get it. I mean, everybody ends their shift at some point. Sometimes shit goes down right then. You got to help. Doesn't mean you can't go off duty, especially if it's, if you're tired. I would rather have you go off duty than try to stay up while you're super tired and do some report writing. But when you get up, get your coffee, get your energy going, 24 hours later at least, right, sit down at the computer, get those thoughts on paper, put the report together. Don't be sitting there 2 days, 3 days, 7 days after an incident trying to remember what happened so you can get your reports done. If we're seeing people getting arrests and not doing reports, I mean, you're not going to be an officer here. I mean, that's the rule. Standard is 24 hours. With it, 24 hours after the incident, the arrest report or civilian report should be in the MDW completed. If an individual is held until a bail hearing, the paperwork must be completed and submitted to the district attorney's office within 24 hours of the arrest. Charges filed against the suspect for felony A's must have a docket posting within 48 hours. Contact the district attorney's office and let them know that suspect has felony charges. Again, we're a team here, so when we're doing things like putting somebody on a hold for a felony, felony A, which is not just any felony, those are like high priority felonies. They're going to get a docket posting. They're not just going to be held indefinitely. They're going to be held until bail hearing. They're going to get a docket posting, but you need to work hand in hand with the district attorney's office. We are the enforcement branch here of the government. We're here to enforce the laws, make arrests, collect evidence, but these high class felonies, these get transferred over to the district attorney's office and they handle the prosecution. They're relying on us to write those reports, to collect that evidence, and to let them know what's going on. Reports, let me try that again in English. Reports should be written in layman's terms, okay? So we are all law enforcement officers here. We're going to be very used to the lingo that we use. We're going to be very used to using 10 codes and slang. And that's important if you're talking to a fellow officer. It's important if you're talking on the radio, that you're being clear and concise and that you're using 10 codes, in front of other civilians so they don't necessarily know what we're talking about. Reports are different, though. Reports are sometimes used in court. They're going to be read by the defense counsel, and they're not going to want to see that you had a 1078 or you had a 1013 or that you were 76 and you arrived 23 with 3 Lima 22. This means nothing to a regular person. These are all 10 codes and call signs. So try to use regular jargon. Say, while I was on routine patrol, or actually not even while because reports should be written in third person. So I usually say something like, Trooper Winters was on routine patrol when a call came into dispatch reporting a burglary in progress. Trooper Winters arrived on scene and observed the door was kicked in and waited for backup units to arrive. So on and so forth. Just use layman's terms. Don't use 10 codes.
Nope.
Don't use call
starting
signs.
tomorrow. It's going to be late.
Reports must be written in third person, like I said. So try to name yourself in third person and try to objectively state what happened, and don't just say, I showed up.
But
and
we're just chilling, listening.
Suddenly, I heard a voice behind me. Don't
Sorry,
don't
my
say
voice
things
cracked.
like that. Just try to objectively state what happened.
Facts only.
Yeah.
What's up, Chuggy?
Reports must detail from when the original call was received all the way through to when the suspect was booked and processed and sent off. Everything from start to finish, soup to nuts, should be in your report. Don't just pick up, I arrived on scene to find Amanda. Everything from when the call came into dispatch, how did you know to arrive at the scene, all the way through to when they were sent off. FOIA. Okay, so anybody who has an arrest report or even a civilian report, people have the Freedom of Information Act. They can request those records. Attorneys can request those records. If it is approved, you will be notified, and you do have to make those available within 72 hours. Those reports have a share button. I think Lieutenant Nixon showed you earlier. If you get a FOIA report and it says, Salem Gold, you have 72 hours to share this with this lawyer who's requesting this report. That means you have 72 hours from the time of that notice to get into the MDW, go to that report, and share it with that attorney.
You're dying on the inside.
And it probably goes without saying, but any arrest report for an incident should establish the reasonable suspicion or probable cause and the basis for each charge. So if you're charging somebody with 3 charges, don't just write a report that very clearly shows how one of them was charged. And then just the other 2 were just assumed that, it was in their possession.
I had no
Each
idea
charge,
how long this was going to be.
Outline in detail why. It should stand on its own. Each snippet from your report should support each individual charge.
All right, who knows how to fill
Hey, holy.
All right, we're almost done up here, and then we're going to go down and just do that little
Theo.
evidence collection bit.
What the hell is up, dude?
I'll do that.
Thank you so much for the raid. And Mech, thank you for the 33 months, brother.
What you need to know, because what you need to know is
What's
kind
up,
of very
boys? Thank you so much for coming by, boys and girls.
Well, I just figure since
my name's
we're already
Flo,
up
we're
here,
in
on
onboarding
such a roll,
for
and then I'll let
Onyx
you and your
PD.
yapping get down to the evidence collection.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
We are
Before you get me
starting
yapping
a
again, I'll be
subathon
going for 2
tomorrow.
hours.
Yep.
So
I don't
when
have
Theo's
until
not
2
online,
a.m.,
if you're looking
okay?
for a place to hang, we'll be live.
All right, so let's
all
just
day,
finish off
every day.
a little bit about sign-offs,
I appreciate all the follows, guys.
expectations, and what you need to know. Okay. So for all cadet expectations
sure
from
did
auxiliary
there,
hours to
Theo.
final evaluation, please
Appreciate
go
you,
to the
buddy.
cadet standards and expectations and general FAQ.
Thank you for the raid, dude.
In the documents
Sorry,
page
Chad,
in
I'm
the
like
MDW.
fucking dead tired. We've been doing this for like 6 hours.
Briefly, here's some information that you need to know regarding radio etiquette. Most of the stuff is very thoroughly detailed in the modules that you will likely have to read through, but just briefly,
Thank you,
because again, a
everybody,
lot of
for
you
the
have
follows.
extensive experience, I'm guessing you're not going to need too much training on all this. Radio etiquette. displays you're confident and competent on the radio. So speak clearly and concisely.
What a
don't,
fucking
don't
big dick
hesitate.
raid.
Say a lot of ums and uhs and gonna
Sorry,
be.
chat.
Just keep it clear and
My
concise.
energy level
Use
is at
10
0.
codes.
But I appreciate
you. Can use
So if you want
plain
to see the
speak. We're not,
onboarding, we'll
like,
be here
saying
for
you can't
a
ever
little
do
bit
that,
longer.
But especially when you're in front of a suspect, I'd rather have you use a 10 code and say you're requesting 77. Then say right in front of a suspect, I'd like backup. Because if they understand that you're asking for backup, if their intention is to get away, they're probably going to try to shoot you or try to get away right now. Whereas if you say 1077 request Adams Apple Boulevard, they might not know exactly what that means. So just keep things clear and concise and maintain operational security. Call yourself on duty or on scene or off scene clearly and consistently. Again, when you're on a traffic stop, let them know when the traffic stop is clear. Otherwise, dispatch just thinks you're forever on a traffic stop. Don't interrupt other people's radio traffic. It really bothers me when people are trying to communicate about a suspect or a scene, and someone just breaks in. And they usually break in with break, 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 and then they'll just give some not helpful information at all. Break, break, break. There's a red coquette circling the area. It's like a red coquette circling the area of what? It's like, oh well, I know that you guys are down there. I'm up here on this other situation, and I just want to the red coquette's not doing it. Actually, this is Burger Shot. They just came in for a burger. Never mind, everybody. That's not good radio etiquette.
No.
So don't interrupt radio traffic.
We don't have to go through all this. They can read through all this. So what should you should know?
Yeah, they're trying to speed it up too.
Sorry, I had to call about something. Yeah. Those last couple pages are stuff that you guys can read through as cadets. We just do evidence after this, and then I give the standards of.
All right, we're all done. I think.
The cadet.
Good. The only other thing that we haven't gone through is the evidence collections. You want to cover that?
Yep.
Well, yeah. Okay, so
real quick, I do have a question. So, time and club, are you guys going to sleep after this, or are you guys wanting to stick around for a bit?
I was hoping to hit the hay.
Okay.
But I'll be around tomorrow afternoon and then every day moving forward.
Okay. Time?
Tomorrow afternoon, likely.
Yeah,
I'm going to say like
okay.
after this.
I was going to try and get you guys FTO
time,
sessions,
sorry.
so we could, since you guys are the 2 past 2 cadets.
No chat.
So I just want to at least ask.
Bad idea.
Gotcha.
So-
Yeah, I'll be around tomorrow though.
Okay. We can go into VR.
all right. Okay, let's go back down to the evidence room.
We're going to talk about evidence collection?
Yeah, bad
yeah,
idea, chat.
No, we can go to
I'll be
VR.
up all night.
Just
Yeah,
from my
just
desk.
do it at VR. It's way easier.
yeah,
We have
let's do it
the
VR.
slaughterhouse scenario all set up.
Okay.
Yep,
They're gonna
sure
go
is.
to
This
sleep. We'll
way.
go to VR. Where are you going, Vanessa?
There's a computer up here. for
Have they
VR.
already been in VR before?
Yes.
All right. Enter the VR.
Just go over to the computer.
Oh, not this scenario, but
That's all right. Once we get everybody in here, we'll head on over together.
Sorry about that.
you can practice for tomorrow. Yeah. Well, it's bedtime soon, man.
Winters, what's the teleport for the slaughterhouse?
We can actually just shoot here and show them.
Okay.
I think it's CID training too. Yeah, we can just do it here.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot the body, please.
Oh, I was shooting around.
Okay, so get your flashlights out. You can't see evidence unless you have your flashlight in hand.
Don't worry. I'll help you.
Thank you.
Get your flashlight out and go check over here. You should see.
I did that for Nixon.
Oh, thanks.
Did
You
that
should
make you feel
see
good?
virtual blood, which is this red blob here next to Winters. You're going to see a green up arrow. That's actual projectiles. Those are actually slugs from someone's gun. And then these white circles are bullet casings that came out of the gun. So I shot from here, that direction. I got punched here by one of the cadets. Nash shot from this position. She had a casing right here. And I could see her projectile over here around the body. So once you get good at reading these scenes, you'll be able to see basically in your head how the scene unfolded, but for the most part, when you come up to these scenes, it'll just be a mess of green arrows and white circles and red blood, which you won't really be able to. Okay, so let's go over. You don't already have Does anyone have an evidence bag container?
They
Yes.
all should have it.
You do have an evidence bag container?
Yes.
Okay. Get your evidence bag container into your pockets. It doesn't work if it's on your duty belt. In fact, just to let you know, nothing will work that's on your duty belt. You'll have to put it in your pockets and then use it from there.
MDW or cuff.
Yeah, a couple things will work. Your watch, for example, you put it in your pocket, you use it, and you put it back on your utility belt. Your radio will work from your belt. Your handcuffs will work from your belt. Stuff like your citation printer or your first aid kit, you'll have to take in your pocket. You'll figure it out over time. It doesn't matter. What I want you to do is take your evidence bag container out, put it in your pockets, use it, label the evidence bag something like test or training or something like that, because this is not really a report. In a real world situation, you would put something like incident report 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, golf cart shooting or something like that. In this case, just put test, and then once you got the bag, now you can't actually put stuff in the bag right away. Go back to your pockets after you create the bag. You'll have a little baggie, an evidence baggie. It'll say it's closed, and if you see it's got the label you just gave it, and it'll say it's closed. Obviously, you can't put anything in it while it's closed. So use the evidence bag, and it'll tell you that the evidence bag is opened. And if you go back in your pockets, you'll see that it's now open. Do you all see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just make sure you understand that as soon as you take it out of the bag, it's always closed. So if you waste, you're going to waste a bunch of time if you take it out, the evidence bag out, and name it something, and then you go around for 20 minutes trying to pick stuff up, only to realize you didn't pick anything up because the bag was closed. All right. So bag's open. You can walk over here and start picking up evidence. Again, we're in virtual reality, so make sure you have a key bound to press up. You know, I have it as, what is it, right? Yeah, I've got a button for me to pick up evidence. You can only do it while your flashlight.
Oh, I don't know what it is.
Now the cool thing is you don't have to sit here painstakingly pick up every piece of evidence. If I'm standing here, it'll pick up like everything in a pretty big circle around me, like a vacuum cleaner. Stick up like 18 different pieces of evidence, and I'll walk over here and just pick up a few more. So this was a really big scene. You don't have to be here for 2 hours picking up every single piece. You can just kind of vacuum clean it up.
Collect evidence.
So go ahead and walk around the scene, pick up as much of the evidence as you want.
Okay.
As much as you can. Until you start picking up evidence, or trying to, and
Holy
you're like
shit.
picking up 0 pieces of evidence.
20.
You can't pick up duplicates. So if you try to pick up a duplicate, it'll just tell you found 0 new pieces of evidence.
Oh, well, okay. I have a lot of evidence.
Good. And it's all in the bag, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. Anybody still having trouble picking up the evidence? Keep picking up evidence until you can't find any anymore, basically. Because you're going to need blood, you're going to need casings, you're going to need projectiles.
It's 1 bag per.
You good? Okay. All right, everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. Once you're all good, go to your pockets, go to that evidence bag that's still open, and then use it again to close it.
Closed up tight.
Okay.
Excuse me?
Shouldn't we just... Do we have an evidence room here? Go to the real world to analyze this.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm thinking go back to the road. Okay, so... Yeah, well, I want to show them what it's like. So, all right, go to F1, and then go to the little... Actually, no, it's over here, isn't it? Yeah, over here. Look at this can of beans, this pallet full of beans, and exit VR training.
Nixon, what are you doing?
I just had them collect a bunch of blood and casings and stuff, so I'm going to take them down to the evidence room and have them analyze it.
They don't need to do that. If you went through the stuff in VR and the evidence stuff, you've already gone
you just
through
wanted
it.
to show them how to pick it up, not how to actually...
Yeah, how to pick it up, how to use the evidence bags and whatnot.
No.
Okay, they just saw how to do that, so... They're done.
double doing it. I guess we can go over the just last little bit with their aux hours and stuff. That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So.
All right, we did it, chat.
Have they
is really
seen
weird
blood
with
like
the-
in a report where you can see like on the map where it is and stuff?
It should have been in test report 1973 that you guys looked at, right?
There was blood. I showed them a casing and how to run the gun, but I didn't show them blood.
I mean, it's gonna be the same exact thing. So.
Yeah, it's the same process.
Yeah.
Yeah,
same
earlier
process,
when I
just-
was in the evidence viewer with you guys, where you looked at that casing and you saw the gun and you could see who it belonged to and stuff. If you do the same exact thing with blood, you can do the same thing. You can see whose blood it is, and not only that, but you can actually view where in the world that blood was gained from in 3D. You can even like move the camera around and see like, oh, this blood was found on the sidewalk next to the
That's
Bahamas nightclub. I can see it
literally
right here. And this other
insane.
blood sample from the same person a few minutes later was found at the top of Mount Chiliad. I could see it. So evidence viewer lets you view like where in the world these, and that's not just blood. That happens with every piece of evidence: casings, projectiles.
It's insane.
Any evidence you pick up in these bags will show up in the evidence viewer, like where in the world it was when it was collected by the officer. Now, unfortunately, it won't be the exact same time of day or weather. Like if it's raining in the real world, when you look at the evidence viewer, it's going to also be raining. It's going to look like however it looks in the real. So if it happened in the dead of night a few nights ago, and if you use the evidence viewer, it might be daytime. So be aware that there's some limitations. It's not exactly like it was at the time, but it will show you where it was. So it'll help you reconstruct the crime scene.
Yeah, I've heard people talking about that bitter, but I haven't seen anybody playing it.
Okay. Sorry, Nash, what were you saying? About
I guess a lot of games just came out
So,
though, right?
last little bit. And so the girls are fast tracks. The guys are 2 fast 2 cadets. I just lost one of them.
That was Justin or Nick.
Oh, He did not leave in the nick of time.
I like what you did there. That's his name.
That was good. That was good, right?
He left a little early.
He didn't leave a little early, not in the nick of time.
Drunk, sorry. What's up, Boost?
I guess while we wait for him, do you guys have any questions?
Not at the moment for me.
I need to think about that because wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of information.
There's a lot of stuff, and that's the reason why we have a couple different types of cadets. For that reason, Cyrus, if you have completed the app, just go downstairs, change, and then clock out, and I'll let you know when we do the other one for you guys. Okay?
Good. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah. have a
See
good
you
night.
later.
Good night.
I guess I can kind of go over this with him when he gets here, though. So, we do have auxiliary hours. We did kind of just change it legit today. Did a quick voting system and decided to change it. So, auxiliary hours. We're not going to give you the list of options that are on the list I gave you guys, okay? So, I want you guys to grab a paddy wagon when you go to do them. The girls are going to have 2 auxiliary hours of paddy wagon duty, which is basically responding to calls and helping transport 95s. You can help collect evidence on scene or take statements. The guys are going to have 1 hour. Once you have completed that time, you need to email me. Email. Hey, Nash, I did this amount of time on paddy wagon duty. And then, as long as you've emailed it to me, you are good to
yeah,
go
I
into
think
the
this is
cadet
all
bot
previous
to
cops.
get an FTO. So, for the cadet bot, I need you guys to do this. Go into the cadet waiting room, and you should be able to hit, I believe it's join queue.
Okay.
When you hit join queue, for your name, do parentheses NA-FC if you are a fast track. So the girls are going to do FC. Club, you're going to do NA-2F2C. And then again, the NA and the 2F2C or the FC are all going to be in parentheses. And then your first initial, last name. And then for your call sign, you're just going to do the whatever your call sign is, okay?
Hmm.
And then once you've done that, join the queue. So I can make sure it's good.
W.
Nika, you do not leave in the nick of time. So I
Club?
need you to go
What's
to the
my call
cadet waiting
sign?
room.
Yep.
Okay. And you're gonna do in your name. It's gonna be parentheses NA-2F2C,
First
2-L-79.
initial,
Initial, last name. And then for your call sign, you're gonna do the call sign that you gave us.
Oh.
Good job, Vixen. Did it
Can't get
wrong
to
though.
update- No, I know. I just tried to update my call sign.
You can't. I'm waiting for that stuff to get fixed. Okay, Club, you are good. Bold,
Alright.
you're good.
NA2F2C.
The other thing that you missed time is your auxiliary time is only going to be 1 hour and not 2. And it's going to be paddy wagon duty. So you take the paddy wagon and you can respond to transport 95s, assist with evidence processing. You guys can also, if 911 calls come in, you can answer those, and you can physically go to people to take their police statements or their statements and stuff. Okay. Question.
It's giving you flashbacks.
Loud, I mean, that sounds pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. And then of course, when you're done with your hours time, email it to me. Email.
Yep, will do.
The other thing is so the girls, you guys have 2 to 4 FTO sessions. If you feel like you are needing a little bit more after 2, just be honest with me or any of the supervisors, okay? Just be like, hey, I feel like I need a couple more to kind of get a little bit more comfortable. For the guys, if you feel like you need 1 more session just to kind of get the grasp of things, you can. So the way it's going to work is we will keep track of the girls. It's the best way to really say it because it's legit split in half like this. So I'll do updates with you. Boer will, Gamble will. For the guys, again, be honest. If you feel like you need 1 more session, you guys should be doing everything on these FTO sessions, right? For the guys, after you've done your 1 to 2, you are then solo. You need to, after you've done the 1, check in with a supervisor so we can make sure you're clear, go over everything, and get you guys solo, right? For the guys, you guys will be solo for a week, and then you guys will get promoted to full officer. If you feel like you need a little bit more than a week, please, again, be honest, right?
That's super
if you're not
fast.
really around, we may push it out a little bit longer, but we will promote you. And if you feel like you want to sit in cadet phase like another week or 2, that is completely fine. Just be honest with us, okay? For the girls, after you have gotten solo, after a week, you are able to, like, I want you guys to check in with FTOs, right? Every day for all of you guys, just to tell them how you're feeling and everything, if you need help. But after a week, you guys are allowed to ask FTSs to ride with them. For the guys, after you've gotten solo, you guys are good to ride with FTOs or other people just to kind of make sure you get the handle of how things are done here.
Yeah, I was a cop for a long time. You're right.
Questions?
Not that I could think of.
Yes, Harold?
Yes, Harold.
Who are these people?
You guys want to introduce yourself to Captain Harold?
Oh God, hi Harold. We met the
Hello.
other night when interviews were going on. I'm Salem.
Oh, yeah, you got your job. Well, that's good. That's good. Congratulations. Oh,
Thank you so
very good.
much.
That's
Hello.
good.
I'm
Hello.
Vanessa.
Hello, Vanessa.
It's nice to meet you.
Likewise. Likewise.
Hello, Captain William Clubb.
Hello, Mr. Club.
He may be a good break seater, okay? He's
Yes,
not really sure if he wants to be. He's not sure if he wants to be LSPD.
LSPD. I'll find out if he's a shitty boy or not.
Anyways,
He'll
next.
find out.
Next.
Hi, Captain. I'm Nick of Time.
Oh, yes, from the other G, yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
So you're the ones who survived.
Yeah.
So far, yeah.
So it seems.
That's
Well, hey, just fun fact: 1 out of the 6 that were interviewed that day was the only one who didn't get hired. Went on a stabbing spree apparently after.
What the fuck?
Jesus.
Oh my God, that's the one, Harold. That's the one you asked
That
about Burger
guy.
Shot.
That guy's he's the suspect. I heard there was a body, like murder.
Oh, I don't know. I just know he went on a stabbing spree after we
That was a
told him
murder.
no.
Found a
Oh.
finger.
Oh no. Oh, I didn't know about that.
That guy was crazy.
That's not good.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Sheriff.
People just can't handle everything.
No,
You had your
Harold,
double take
no.
also. That's
Oh, yeah.
Booer.
Oh.
Why do
I
I?
think Booer is the sheriff's son.
Yeah.
I think so.
I should get paid.
Okay. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, you are good to go.
Perfect.
Nikov, did you do your janitorial duties that I asked you to do to pay off your app?
Yes, ma'am. I cleaned all of this PD actually from the lockers up to
How
the
long were you
second floor.
doing that for?
A little over an hour.
Club, how long
Like
were you
an
doing
hour
that
10.
for?
About an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to do janitorial work also?
No, I'd actually like to pay off the application.
Wow.
Okay. I can give you the information when we're done here.
Okay.
Are you sure you don't want to work it off? Because I'm about to say something. Choose
I'm
now. Okay, since you guys decided to do janitorial work, you're honest. I already know you guys did this. Andy went over the 45 minutes to an hour that I said you realistically needed. You guys don't have to worry about aux hours. Just go straight into the queue when you're ready tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Thank
change
you.
your mind there?
Nice.
No, thank you so much. It's perfect,
yeah.
chat.
Okay. Well, again, if you need anything, there's a lot of FTOs, FTSs. We're all more than happy to help you guys if you have questions. If you want to go over and ask more in-depth stuff about this. If you liked the evidence viewer stuff, the crime scene stuff, CID can go into a lot of detail with that. Other than that, you guys are good. Hopefully it wasn't too much. If you have any feedback how any of this was, just let me know, because we're always more than happy to change things around. So, unless it's coming from Harold.
Wow, that's my captain.
I have no idea what she said before. I was not listening.
Was also kind of half listening.
Yeah, all I heard was.
Oh my goodness, I'm beat.
You got a hole in your CID jacket, Patrick.
She's got a lot of things in this jacket.
I hate that jacket.
And stylish, it's one of them.
That jacket with those pants just don't. That's not it. That's not it.
It's offensive to the eye.
Yeah, so over at your club was a cop.
Look at the
Please.
color of his stripe as well. It's like.
It's all
so
bad. All of it's
like,
bad.
Eggshell white. You know,
Little mismatch.
He looks like a hot mess.
A dark
Sorry,
green
Patrick.
pants, blue jacket, black tie.
Have you tried with jeans?
Oh, it probably would look better with jeans.
Oh, did the rest of you guys go into the cadet waiting room so I can make sure that your call signs are set up right?
Yes.
I think I got gold and
Yeah, I did it as well.
I believe should I just join the queue real
yeah,
quick?
just join it real quick so I can make sure it's good. Yep, you are good. Okay, Nixon. If you look in the cadet waiting room, you'll see
It
what
worked.
it'll look
Look,
like
my
when
call
you
sign's
get
right.
when you get picked up. You'll also get an
Thank you,
email
Adam, for the
saying
follow.
reach out to the FTO.
Oh, dude, I miss
If
Ollie.
you're waiting for an FTO, you can go around in paddy wagon. You don't have to just sit there. You can actually come around and do stuff.
Yeah,
All right,
Patrol
go
actually
get
loves
the
it when
paddy
you do
wagon,
that.
please.
Yeah, they love that.
Love the paddy wagon.
Yes.
Great way to meet other cops. Great way to meet
Harold.
criminals.
Okay.
Yes.
Or civilians.
I joined the queue.
I know.
And the FTOs are more likely to, if you're in the paddy wagon, help, get you to help process if you transported that 95 in the paddy wagon.
Number one, Harold. Yes.
Is there a way to differentiate that somebody
Might be
in the
interested in
paddy
playing
wagon
some
with a
Return to
dispatch?
Moira. Dude, Lifty will
Go to
definitely play.
dispatch and you click on your name, and you do set call sign. You can actually update
will
it
definitely
and put
play.
paddy wagon next to it. You broke it, didn't you?
And then he'll become
Like if you
so
look at the
addicted
current
and he won't play anything else
units
for
in
like
dispatch,
a
you'll see
month.
some people have like motor 1, motor 2 after their call sign, and down at the bottom it says like Buffalo Gamble, 4H34 Buffalo James Gamble. You do the same thing where you'll put your call sign and then
can't grab
paddy
you.
wagon.
Easy.
Yeah. That way everybody can know at a glance what units are out. We don't want like 7 cops in motorcycles or 3 cops in the Buffalo. So it's good to kind
God,
of
Harold.
see what's up.
Oh,
Just make sure when you're done,
Soon Speed Club.
you go back
I
in
would
and
like
edit
to.
it so you're not.
But I guess we'll see.
It doesn't say your paddy wagon for 3 weeks when you wrote it 3 weeks ago.
Oh, Harold, you're now on a ride along with me and Gamble.
Perhaps she's having 10
Okay. I gotta go to bed.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks so much. I'm gonna go to bed because I'm tired. If that's okay.
I'll allow it.
We don't need you for nothing else.
All right, folks. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Good work tonight.
Hey, firm.
Thank
Feel free
you.
to check out virtual reality if you guys want. You know, the MDW is.
All right, chat. That went a lot longer than I thought it was going to. And I'm very tired. I'm going to get out quick. I appreciate you guys sticking through onboarding with me. We'll definitely be playing club this upcoming week to try to get them soloed. And that's it. I mean, that's it. That's all, boys. I don't know who we're going to raid. I apologize for the low energy. I'm just fucking... I'm done for, boys. Done for. I probably sound tired, too. We're gonna go and host... just somebody... go and host... Summer. Summer's playing NoPixel. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. We start the thon. And I hope you guys are down for it and having a good time. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Love you.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come